Charlie got it bumping. Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude in this place, he out cold. With a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul Era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. Ted DiBiase, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another episode of Boot to the Face here live on YouTube and all your favorite podcasting platforms. I'm Chris Rucker along with my co-host EJ Reed, and we have another guest with us, somebody that joined me in Las Vegas this week, Mr. Robin White. Robin, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are y'all doing?
Fantastic. EJ, how you doing, sir?
Doing swell. Got my Kentucky coffee with me. It's been a little minute, man. Like haven't been here a couple weeks. Hadn't been on Haymaker. We take a little break on Haymaker, so it's my first time, doing the show. So I'm excited.
What's a Kentucky coffee?
Coffee with bourbon.
Okay, my kind of shit. Here we go, and our fourth guest is here.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
That's
What's
the
up,
guy right
Scott?
there that knows it all.
I was able to figure out the internet, so I'm in.
Yes, sir.
So I asked, obviously people that listen and watch Boot to the Face, EJ and myself normally do this. I asked Rob and Scott to come on because they were with me in Vegas this week because EJ didn't want to go, which I thought he should have because to me this was way more fun than the first year. But
He would have fun.
Robin, I'll start with you because you've never been to WrestleMania before. Like, what was your overall experience of the whole thing?
Well, once I finally got to my seat, I apologize if my dogs are outside barking at something, but once I finally got to my seat, I had a blast. It for somebody that hadn't kept up with wrestling as close over the last few years. I recognized a lot of the names, but this is the first time seeing, a lot of those people live. And from where I was sitting, it was a good show. I mean, I don't have any other ones to have a standard on. So, but, for, I guess you'd say a casual, nowadays I'm more of a casual. I had a great time.
Scott, what about you? How many manias have you been to?
This was my sixth Mania. First Mania I went to was WrestleMania 10 back in '94.
Oh,
as a little kid.
Classic.
So yeah, that was my first Mania. But then after that, 29, 35, 37, 40, and then this 42.
Oh, shit. We were both at 40 then.
We probably walked right by each other like shifting. 40 was a lot of fun. And I'll say both nights were fun, but this is when I did 37, I did 40, I did both nights. This year, it was like you go to Vegas, you got to go to a pool party. And when I saw you put that post up about doing Stadium Swim, I was like, this is perfect. Do Stadium Swim on Saturday, go to WrestleMania Live on Sunday. And I'll tell you, based on what everybody was saying, watching the Saturday event, they said it sucked. They said it was too many commercials. It was perfect for us over there. Absolutely perfect. I mean, Rucker will probably tell you he saw his own show the whole time that he had a front row seat to. But yeah, it was a blast, man, being able to party up and do that. And when you do Vegas, you got to do a pool party. So it was like two birds, one stone. And all those commercial breaks, there was a DJ playing music, and that gave us enough time. If you had to go to the bathroom, get a drink, go meet Joe Hendry because Joe Hendry was there. Like it was a good ass time. And then Sunday was really dope too. My seat actually got upgraded because when I went to go to my section, they're like, oh, this section's closed. So I had to get an upgrade. I was kind of rushing though, because it was right before Mania was about to start. And I'm like, I don't want to miss a second of Oba and Brock. But yeah, I got a nice upgrade. I got to go to like a club at lounge that I didn't have access to previously. So definitely got my money's worth. Everybody's complaining about ticket prices, but between the deal with the 316 day and the 30% off and getting that upgrade, I felt I got more than my money's worth on Sunday. So it was a great time. It was great meeting you guys there.
Yep. So EJ, for reference, Scott ended up sitting front row of the section we were in last year.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
he
wow.
was, his seat got upgraded to that. And oh shit, sorry. I owe everybody a drink, as Stone Cold would say, because I didn't turn my phone off. As far as the pool party goes, so last year all I saw was all these wrestlers and all these fans like watching at the Palms and watching at Stadium Swim. And I watched Sunday at my buddy Brent's house. And I'm like, why the fuck didn't I go to a pool party? And a lot of these pool parties, they weren't expensive to get into. They were like $25-$50. We went to Stadium Swim. We did it sort of big where we had the day bed and the allotted money we were supposed to spend that we paid for. And I was looking at the receipt, Scott, and I remember I showed you this. The waitress, Sydney, she was like, you came within $1 of it. She was wrong. We hit that shit right on the head. We spent exactly $500
on the money. Wow.
That's what's up.
Do that again. We try.
Stadium Swim was phenomenal. Like, even if you don't go to if they were to do a WrestleMania watch party in Vegas next year, I might go just for that, because that shit was so much fun. Like, just it was a couple $100 a piece, I think, what we all paid for.
Which is
we got
cheap
alcohol.
for
Yeah,
Saturday in Vegas.
Right. We got alcohol, we got food, we got our own fucking like dedicated server. We had somewhere to sit. The vibes were great. Like Scott said, it may have been a bunch of commercials, but we didn't fucking notice. Like, we were all drinking, and like he said, they had a DJ playing. So that was phenomenal. I will say the best drink I had in Vegas was something that I made fun of Robin for, which was a Life Water.
Yeah.
Those were fire.
So
that
we
was
sat
pretty funny, because you
sat
were
down
about to like try to school me there for a second, because I've been to Stadium Swim a bunch of times. Which, we were there last year for the Covino and Ridge convention, and then about every time we go to Vegas, my wife and I go check out Stadium Swim. And so we started drinking these Life Waters a couple of years ago, and I ordered one, and then Rucker's like, hey man, we got to drink this food and beverage minimum, and you're over here drinking water like some little softy old person. And I'm like, bro, this is like a major alcohol drink. And he's like, what is this, like white shit you drinking?
Okay, all right.
Rucker, he gotta put me down every chance he gets. He's like, you white boy drinking white drink at the pool. And I'm like, man, just try some. And then when he tried some, he started ordering them, because they are like an amazing little drink.
I never heard of it.
It was coconut rum, coconut water, coconut, like 2 different coconut alcohols in it, and it was just fucking delicious and refreshing. The sun was like, I will say the worst part of it was at the beginning. The sun was just fucking beating down on us. Like, the sun was right here. You couldn't walk barefoot around there. You couldn't sit down. You had to put a towel down. Like, that was rough. But that was the only fucking complaint I had from Stadium Swim. And WrestleMania itself that day, like, I was seeing what was happening, but I was also like, whatever, man. We're vibing in Vegas. Like, the views are immaculate. Like, whatever.
When you said Life Water, I was thinking like Smart Water. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like,
That's exactly
what I thought.
Yeah. Well, we ordered Smart Waters too, but we didn't realize they hit them on us because they were in the shade. I was trying to pace myself at least, and didn't realize that they were there the whole time.
Those came in handy though, because I took like 2 of them with me and put some Propel powder drinks in later, which is probably why I was able to function when Robin claims that I held him hostage and kidnapped him.
You did held us hostage. You held us hostage.
Oh shit! You got to
I
go.
tell you though, that's what's great about Stadium Swim. We're right there on Fremont, so right after Mania was over, what we do, we change real quick, and then we hit up Fremont. So
yeah, Chris was going on his own little side quests, and he had, I guess, conveniently forgotten, like, we left all our belongings in his hotel room. So like, we couldn't go back to our hotels until we went back to Chris's hotel to get our belongings. And apparently he forgot all that, because he just starts walking down Fremont, going in and out all these places on his own side quest. And me and little Scott or just trying to follow him around because, you know, neither one of us are really big guys. So, I mean, I think I could say that, you know, without being offensive, but, you know, it takes me about 2 more steps to go where the normal person's taking 1 step. So
Yeah,
I'm following. Yeah, I'm following Chris, you know, with my little legs as fast as I can, not knowing where he's going or where he's turning into. And he's like, what? And I'm like, man, I need to get my stuff out of your room. Oh, yeah, we're going to go eventually. Let me just go over here for a minute. And then that's an hour. And then so it was a lot of fun, though. We had some good adventures. Didn't get into any trouble that I'm aware of. I don't think we did.
No, not that I'm aware of either. At least I don't remember getting in any trouble.
I don't either. So
yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah, so it was a good time. We ended up at Hogs and Heifers, EJ, which is and your girl was there, Kristen Miller.
My girl.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
my no.
She was there. There's a couple other bartenders there. Actually, it was a good time at Hogs and Heifers. Like, their new spot is really good, and I don't know. It's just a bar where basically they go to and talk shit to you, and dive bar. You know, cash only.
Well, I'm about to say, you said my girl, you mean my enemy. She was real mean to me.
She's mean to everybody though.
Yeah, it's flicking me off. You said they moved to a different spot, didn't they?
Yeah, they moved to the Plaza Hotel, which is at the other end of Fremont next to Circa. But before we went there, we did go get a good steak dinner at the steakhouse at the D, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, it was a good time, man. I told both of y'all already, like, I'm glad y'all decided to come, and I don't think I would have had as much fun had y'all not been there. So I appreciate the hell out of y'all for coming, and I hope y'all had as much fun too.
No, I had a blast. I'm looking forward to doing it again, you know, whenever we get the opportunity.
Definitely same. I wouldn't have had as much fun without you guys.
And then Sunday, we all actually went to WrestleMania, sat separately. But
well, y'all didn't go together?
No, we all got tickets at different times, so we all sat in different places.
You didn't explain how you got the money for your ticket.
Yeah, fucking got lucky at the roulette table. That was the only real luck I had at the roulette table. Scott will tell you, like, what was that? Monday, we went to the D, and I was playing forever, and I was up big. And he walked away to go play. Were you playing craps or poker or whatever?
I did craps at one point. I did blackjack, and I did 3-card, and I was 0 for 3 on all of them. But you were racking up the chips when I kept looking over by you.
Yeah. He came back. I had no chips left. I was like, God damn it. So I will tell y'all this story. So I'm at the roulette table, and there's, people are coming and going because I'm there for a couple of hours. And eventually it's just me, and this old white lady walks up, and she stands right next to me, like shoulder to shoulder. And she's just way too fucking aggressive, like punching me in the arm, like when I win or when she wins, and like grabbing on me. And at one point, she grabs my face and tells me, "You can't look at the thing." And I was like, "Get the fuck off me. Like, don't touch me." And the pit boss had been seeing this whole thing. So I went to the bathroom. When I come back, she goes, "Thanks a lot, buddy." And apparently he had gotten her kicked out because she grabbed me like that. And he comes over to me and he's like, she's notorious for being just too fucking touchy-feely with people, her and her husband both. And we don't like that shit over here. So, yeah, I fucking had some incident with some woman. I'm just there trying to have a good time. I was fine with like all the like I don't like people being all up on me. But okay, you're a little drunk. You're excited whenever we hit our numbers. Punch me in the arm like, yeah, we won. But grabbing my face, I was like, no, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
how old was this woman?
She was like 50 or 60. Like old.
She's older. So she's older.
Yeah, old, like biker white woman. And her husband was at the bar. One of them he's one of them motherfuckers, his hairline was back here, but he still had a ponytail.
Yeah.
One of them types.
Yeah, some people like that sometimes get a little bit too comfortable. Yeah. Hold up, man. Back up. Give me my space.
But yeah, Sunday, we started out the day. We all met at the bar at right outside the House of Blues with Trish Stratus's cousin, Jess. And
Jess in Vegas?
Jess in Vegas, yeah. Had a drink with her, hung out for a little while, and then we all changed and headed over to Mania. And like I said, I thought I know both of you weren't there last year, but for me, this year's one day of Mania I went to was it was better top to bottom than last year. So how'd y'all enjoy the show?
Like I said, I enjoyed it a lot, especially not knowing all the wrestlers, not being super familiar with it like I used to be. So I was kind of able to just almost like take like a third party seat and you know enjoy the vibes. And I thought, they did obviously. You could tell they made a big deal on the entrances. Which I mean, if you're going to WrestleMania, they should have badass entrances. So it was great for me. I thought a lot of the spots were really well done. Different, obviously different, for me being, coming up really big into wrestling in the, 90s. You could tell it's a little more PG than it used to be. It had some corny spots, but I understand you got to do some things for the kids. My biggest takeaway was I did not realize how expensive those like replica title belts were until the guy sitting next to me told me how much he had paid for like his belts and his kids' belts. And I was like, oh, damn, this is a serious business here, and,
Well, how much he said it cost?
He said they were like $700-800 a piece. And I imagine that's not even the most expensive ones you can get. Right?
Oh no, you can get a WrestleMania belt that says you were at WrestleMania 42. They're like over $1,000. But the funny thing, and I'm sure me and EJ will get into this later when we start breaking everything down, the TKO effect, right? I collect belts, like at least I used to. You could get on WWE Shop at any time and belts would be like 30, 40, 50% off, right? So that's when I would get mine. You could spend like $250, $300 to get one, which is still pretty pricey, but nothing compared to what it is. Now, not only have they gone up in price for the exact same belt, there's no sales for that shit. Like, you might get a free shipping here and there, like a 10% off. It's nothing like it used to be. And like Robin said, we saw so many fucking, and maybe you can help me with this, EJ. I never understood wearing of the titles all around the city, and like you go to Starbucks and motherfuckers are wearing belts while they're ordering a fucking frappuccino, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, you didn't win that. Go hang that shit on your wall or get it signed or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you're wearing it. Like, there's guys with 2 and 3 belts on. Like, you can't even fucking got one on the shoulder, one over here, and he's wearing one, and he's standing in line at McDonald's. And it's like, how you gonna pick your fucking quarter pounder up? You can't.
I saw a lot of that, like when I went to breakfast
everywhere.
Times. It was like,
I mean, I get it a little bit for wrestling, you want to, but wearing it everywhere is a little bit corny, but I don't really understand it at all for like UFC. You see UFC fans wearing a belt. This is like a shoot title. It's not like you beat somebody up for this title, even though I'm kind of.
So me and Robin kind of had this conversation because Robin actually does jujitsu and, stuff like that, right? And he's won a belt before, and he's like, I've won one, and I don't even wear it around. I'm like, shit. And if I've won one for real, I might just wear that motherfucker, at least for the first week or so. But to come to a WWE event and walk around fucking MGM Grand with the belt on like you're Cody Rhodes or some damn body, like, and you're 47 years old, like, what are you doing? I can understand a kid. These are grown men.
Like the kids, I definitely understand it. And I could definitely understand it, like going to the event. Like, you want to dress up and go into WrestleMania and you want to take all your swag. I thought that's perfectly acceptable. I was a little more like thrown off by like, you're going to the breakfast buffet and you got to put your 3 belts in your seat and hope nobody takes them while you go like get some steak. That to me, I was like, that's a little odd to me, but maybe they were going to get them signed at a convention later that day. So it's like, I try not to be too judgy because I know how I look to people. I already look like a judgy dude. So I was like, I don't want to just like give these people the stink eye or the weird eye. But to me, I'm like, you could have like went back to your hotel room and got that after breakfast if you were.
Right. The show doesn't start for another 4 hours. There's no reason for you to be.
That was kind of.
At WWE World, there was a part where there was a line to the bathroom, and I was trying to be nice. Like a urinal opened up. I was telling the guy in front of me, I was like, "Hey, bro," I was like, "You can take that one." And he's like, "No, I'm holding my buddy's belt right now." He's like, "Can you hold it?" I was like, "Nah, you can hold the belt. I'll just go to the urinal. It's fine."
I remember you telling me that. I was like, shit, I would have got a free belt. Like,
I do want to point out the belt's behind me though. I'm not a shooter like Robin, but that belt there I won on WWE Stump the Bump, and then these two belts I won on a Super Bowl Squares betting contest. So did not pay for any of those. Just saying.
So Rucker, I know you've gotten their World Heavyweight Championship signed by past Black World Heavyweight Champions. Is that the only time you taking your belts out in public?
Yeah, when I get them signed.
Okay.
What the fuck else am I going to take them out in public for?
I don't know. I don't know, but I guess you practice what you preach.
Walk around going to Monday night, going to fucking Atlanta Hawks game with a WWE belt on. Like, who does that?
Apparently, people out in Vegas, you saw tons of them. People.
I mean, it was WrestleMania, so like I get it. Like everybody's excited, but I don't know. It just seemed very like inconvenient. You know what I mean? Like it's already hot because it's Vegas, and you're walking around with these big ass belts on. You got all this equipment and shit on, and you fucking yeet glasses and your Macho Man do rag. Like you fucking pass out.
Yeah, kind of weird, but I guess different strokes with different folks.
Yeah, it's kind of how I was. I was like, it's not something I would do, but I'm gonna say I ain't gonna throw rocks at them. I was just like, I might would have left that in my room till the show started. But yeah, excitement, and for a lot of those people, I'm sure it was a once in a lifetime experience. So they were going to go all out and dress to the nines every day, and that's fine. Just like, well, maybe it's getting older. If I'd have got to go to WrestleMania in my teens when I was, I would have had, everything on that I could that I could have afforded. So it's like, I get it.
You said a once in a lifetime thing, Robin. That before I let y'all get out of here, I will bring up something that happened. Robin, I don't even know if you know about this or not. I know Scott does. Once in a lifetime, right? So this is the only time you get to see these people. You get to be close to them the whole nine. There was a big to-do this week or last week about fans showing up in the Wrestlers Hotel, which was the MGM Grand, which wasn't a closed, like, full disclosure, I actually had a room at the MGM Grand before I switched over to Mandalay Bay. Last year, they all stayed at Fountain Blue, which is a little more out of the way and a little more pricey. MGM Grand is more on the, mid tier of Vegas. Wrestlers and fans of wrestlers were complaining that people were being extremely pushy, like meeting the wrestlers in the lobby and like hanging out and waiting on them to get signatures and the whole nine. And I'll say this, I see both sides of it. I see the side of the wrestlers who are like, look, man, I'm just trying to get to my room. Like, we do meet and greets. We do all this. Like, I'm off the clock right now. Leave me alone. But I also see the side of the fan that they brought two of their kids there, their wife, that's 4 people. These meet and greets are not cheap. These WWE tickets are not cheap. Going to Vegas is not cheap. So if I can fucking be in my hotel lobby and see Randy Orton walking by or see Cody Rhodes walking by and go try to get a picture with him, I completely understand. Now, don't be an asshole about it, but I could completely understand that side of it. So I just wanted to get y'all's take on it. Scott, I know you were there. You actually sent me a picture of you and Powerhouse. Yeah. How do y'all feel about the whole nine? Scott, we'll start with you.
So, like, I totally get it. MGM definitely needed more security. I mean, if even with the security, if people want to stop and take the photo, or if they just need to go to their room, then that's cool. But I'll tell you, it started for me when I got to baggage claim when I landed in Vegas. There was a bunch of people right there at baggage claim waiting for whoever to come by with, every marker under the sun and all these different, 8x10s to get signed. So I don't know. There's people that make professions out of it, but
yeah.
When I met Hobbs, I'll tell you though, I met him. It was so you guys know the hotels are like all connected, right? So I'm staying at the Luxor, which is connected to Excalibur, which is connected to New York. and then MGM, you take the bridge over. So like I was just walking through there, and then I saw Hobbs Keys, and asked him. He was real cool. He looked like maybe he had just come from the gym. I'm not sure, but this was at the complete opposite end of the hotel lobby, because I did walk by the hotel lobby, and that was just insane. Like I felt bad for. I saw Lyra Valkyria, who's an absolute like sweetheart. We see
I
her
wish
on
I could have
TV.
saw her.
And she is just like signing for everybody, and she's just got like a crowd all over and like no security in sight.
You should have called me.
I
I'd have come help the bird lady out.
But yeah, I mean, I wasn't there. I didn't get to witness like, you know, the whole CM Punk slapping the phone out, but I did see him one of the nights, and he did make sure he had a lot of security with him. Like he probably had like 4 guards with him. But a lot of these other people, I mean, they were just walking, you know, just from the hotel lobby to like that valet area. Some of them just, I guess I said, fend for themselves. But everywhere you turned, you did see a wrestler. Like you go to a bar, there I saw Swerve. I saw George Kittle at one point. He was also at like the MGM. So when I was walking around there, I saw him walking around. But it's kind of like you kind of get to know when's a good time to approach. Like I didn't want to be suckered into that hotel lobby thing, but I was like, I saw Keys over here. There was nobody else around. So I know like it wasn't going to be like, I don't think anybody else is really going to see us. So, but it looks like with him though, something led to another. I think somebody was following him. There was some video showed somebody following Keys that night, I guess, but not even asking for a picture. He just had to say like, dude, stop following me. So you just, you know, you got to learn how to just, you know, don't be a creep. Just like be respectful, ask for it. I do it when there's like not like a whole crowd of people. Because one, you don't want to like, you know, you could be waiting a long time, but two, it's like we go to all these autograph signings. Like I spent a good amount of money to meet Stone Cold this week, to meet Shawn Michaels, to meet Undertaker, to meet Stephanie McMahon. So, which those were the big ones I wanted to meet. So that's where I got the majority of my meet and greet action.
Robin, any thoughts on harassing people?
Yeah, it's, you know, it's obviously a double-edged sword. I think it's okay to ask, but also if they say, hey, no, right now I'm trying to get to my hotel room, don't, you know, like, all right, man, cool. You know, like, don't be that guy following them. Oh man, I brought all my kids here. You ain't got 2 seconds, because then 2 seconds turn into 2 hours. And like you said,
right.
I saw it several times when I would work at some of the UFC events, and like Daniel Cormier, you know, he's also, you know, he's a fighter, been former world champion. He's also the, you know, a commentator, but he's also a coach. So we would be in the back, you know, in the warm-ups, and even at the UFC level, unless you're like the top 2 or 3 fighters on the card, you're in a locker room. Like we were in Houston doing it at a show, and we're at the Toyota Center where the Rockets play. Well, we're in the Houston Rockets locker room, and there's, you know, like 20 fighters warming up, all the, like the undercard and mid-card people. But you know, DC comes back there, and he's just trying to like talk to one of his students, you know, that fights for AKA, and he's like, you got all these random people, you know, like it's their first time, you know, in the big city, like, DC, can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? And he's like, guys, I'm just here checking on my fighter. I got to go back to the table. And you're like, yeah, man, like pick your spot. Don't, like, a man is like working 3 jobs tonight. Don't, but you know, everybody gets a little starstruck, you know, myself included. I was like, oh, hey, I'm standing right next to this mountain of a guy, but I didn't want to be like, hey man, big fan, while he's literally talking to someone, you know, that's way better than I'll ever be. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you got to pick your spot type deal. And then, you know, but it does come with the territory. I mean, I probably wouldn't handle being famous very well, because, you know, I'd probably be the kind of guy to be like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. You CM Punk.
You know, so it's a good thing the Lord made me poor and unathletic. So I will never have to worry about it.
I'll tell you a quick funny story though. WrestleMania 35. Rob, are you done? I didn't mean to interrupt if you're done.
No, I'm gonna go for it. Go for it.
All right. WrestleMania 35. That was in New York. I had a B&B in Brooklyn, Airbnb, and it only like was till we checked out of the B&B on Tuesday, and then like SmackDown was taped on Tuesday, and we were like, do we stay one more night? We were like, because I had tickets to SmackDown, and I was like, do we drive back to New York, which is like an hour and a half drive, but I was like, it's gonna be late, we're gonna be drinking, like let's just get a hotel room, right? So me and my buddy, it's like our group like split in half from like 4 of us guys, 2 of us guys, and we end up getting a room at the hotel where the superstars were staying, not even knowing. So then after SmackDown, we're at the bar, and it's like I'm actually sitting with Ricochet. Ended up buying him a beer, and then like it's like Abyss is there. I think Drake Maverick was there, and then Samoa Joe's over there, right? And Samoa Joe, there's people that keep coming up that like want to get an autograph from a wrestler. Samoa Joe, literally, I swear to God, this is his quote. He goes, "Y'all motherfuckers have 4 days of access to get me." He's like, "Don't be coming up here now at the bar." I was dying laughing.
See, and yeah, that's funny, but if you were trying to get, I don't know how much I would have paid to like get a picture with like Becky Lynch or who else am I really into in WWE? Like Jey Uso, right? I would have only paid so much, but if you were paying attention to those tickets at WWE World, 1, they were high as fuck. 2, they sold out quick as shit every fucking time you could. So yeah, you were there, Samoa Joe, for the access stuff, but not everybody had access to get those. And people are spending a shitload of money to come into town, and they're bringing their kids and the whole night. I get the old fucking 47-year-old dude with 17 Funko Pops at the airport. Like that's a different take than the guy that's there with his kids. And he's like, hey, can you just take a picture or say hi to my son or whatever? Like, I don't know. I feel like every interaction is a different interaction. They all shouldn't just be placed under one umbrella.
Absolutely. And then you, like you said, you get the people that have been in Vegas 2 or 3 days and never been to Vegas, and they're like lit like a Christmas tree, and they see somebody they recognize, and then they start following them, or they pull the "oh, you big time, you ain't got time for me." We're like, "Oh man, I'm trying to go take a piss. I'm about to piss my pants." I've always kind of felt like with anything, like if you recognize somebody, you end up kind of next to them, be like, "Hey man, hey, you so and so, can I get a picture?" But I don't see the whole like trying to flag somebody down and chase after them. To me, that's like kind of like where you cross the line.
And it's another thing too, especially when they're with their family. I saw Vikingo, and I just kind of was like, I kind of gave him a look. I was like, El Hijo de Vikingo? And he just gave me the nod. But I was not going to approach that guy. He had his wife or girlfriend with him, pushing the stroller with 2 kids in it. I'm like, yeah, it's not the time.
People do need to pick their spots.
I'm sure other fans did go up to him, but
yeah.
I'm probably the wrong person to ask this question because I don't get fandom at all. At the end of the day, these are regular people that bleed just like you and me. So it's been several occasions where I've been in the same room as wrestlers, and sometimes if you just mind your business, sometimes the wrestlers will come up to you and have like a natural conversation. Because we were at this is before I even was on the show. We were at Royal Rumble in St. Louis, and we were at the lobby, and Matt Riddle just came up to me and started having a conversation, and we even talk about wrestling. We were talking more so about MMA. Me and Rucker were hanging out in the lobby with Dawkins. Just like I said, at the end of the day, these are known people. I was at a Busted Open party in Orlando. This is before I joined the show too, and wrestlers all around. Like Powerhouse Hobbs, he was there, and we were just chatting for a little bit, like just natural conversation. The only time I've ever asked for a picture is Mark Henry. I had to get a picture with Mark Henry, but it happened naturally. I didn't like bother him. Like we were just sitting, he was sitting down, and like, hey, what's going on, Mark? Yeah, me and Rucker were at the bar with Ric Flair. We didn't bother the guy one bit. So like,
we're actually kind of annoyed that he was there.
Yeah. So like, at the end of the day, these are just regular people. I understand, like, you're fans of these people. I mean, the fans are fans of the, they see these wrestlers on TV, and like, you grew up watching these people, and But at the end of the day, these are regular people. So like, if they're with their family, leave them alone. Like,
I agree. No, I agree 100%. Yeah.
Well, Rob and Scott, we appreciate y'all joining us to give y'all's take on Vegas and the whole 9. And we're gonna get to our AEW and WrestleMania shit. But y'all got anything y'all want to say or social media y'all want to promote before you get out of here?
No, I don't have much. I mean, y'all got my Instagram at Robin White TX. It's pretty plain. I put my jiu-jitsu stuff on there, and then I put regular, it's just like my regular old thing. I don't have like a fancy thing to promote, but I will say we all need to get together again sometime sooner than later. Hopefully EJ join us for something. Hell, we ain't got to go to a WrestleMania. We can just go to something and kick it. Don't wait on another company to organize a get together. If y'all want to get something going, and 26 and 27,
yeah,
let me know, and I'll probably be down for it.
For sure.
100%. As far as my socials, if you guys want to follow me, Instagram, I'm at the Scott Gata. I did just recently dip my toes into the podcast waters at the Stiff Shot Pod. Me and my buddy are just starting it out, so testing it out, seeing how it goes. So feel free to follow us on that. And then the big thing is following my journey for the Fanatics games this year. So Fanatics Fest is basically, I think of it as a Comic-Con, except it's sports. So that'll be happening in New York City this July, and I'll be competing in the games. I'll be one of the 50 average Joes competing against the 50 athletes and celebrities. So far announced: Cody Rhodes, Tom Brady, Jey Uso, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Justin Gaethje, and there'll be more named after. So finished 8th last year out of 100, which I don't think was bad. Top prize is $1 million, and that's what I'm gunning for this year. So watch out, Tom Brady.
Drinks on Scott next time.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Oh, speaking of, before we let y'all out of here, speaking of drinks on Scott, we walked out of the steakhouse and we were trying to get seats to go in, and they were like, you need a reservation. We didn't have one. So it says it's going to be like a 30-minute wait. Rob was having like allergy issues, so he walked down to CVS to grab meds or whatever. So me and Scott went, we're like, fuck it, we'll play some roulette. And as soon as we get on the roulette table, my phone goes off and our table's ready. So we go, we have dinner, we're leaving. Scott walks out and he's got a $25 chip on roulette. And if anybody plays roulette, you know how like right I am in this situation, even though I was wrong. Scott walks up and puts $25 on green, which are both the zeros. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, who the fuck bets on the zeros to hit? And he's like, I just got a feeling.
Bet the green to win the green.
You fucking idiot. What are you doing? And as I'm like talking so down to this guy, the fucking green hits and he wins like 400 and something.
Yeah, I was like, let's
$25
bet. I was that guy making that.
I'm so sorry. Don't ever listen to me again when it comes to bet. You were right. I was wrong.
That was my one stretch of good luck, though, was right then and there. After that, forget about it.
I have a reverse story. This was like 10 years ago. My friend was going to do that, and I convinced him not to do it, and it hit. He was drunk, so he didn't get that mad. If he was sober, he would probably been really pissed.
That's coincidentally, that's how I lost the majority of my chips the next night, because I don't know if you remember, Scott. I was like, zero hadn't hit in forever, and I was betting like $25 chips on zero. I was like, I remember the same thing he did.
You had so many numbers covered, and I even said, I was like, yo, and I think I started betting a little bit, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be so mad if 6 hits, and none of us had anything on 6, and fucking 6 hit.
He damn sure did do that. But well, fellas, man, I appreciate y'all joining us on the show. I appreciate y'all coming out to Vegas. Like I said, I don't think I would have had nearly as much fun if y'all hadn't have been there. So thank y'all for coming, and thanks for being on the show.
Awesome, man.
Great seeing you guys.
See y'all.
Peace. EJ Reed. Here we go. Sir. Let me find the right there we go. All right, so now we can get into, and again, thanks to Scott and Robin for joining us. That was a good little outsider's take on what was going down in Vegas. So let's get into it, EJ. We had WrestleMania this past weekend. We've had a lot of AEW. Now, full disclosure, I've only had so much like time in my life to watch wrestling. I really didn't watch Dynamite. I didn't watch Collision last night. I was at the Hawks and Knicks game. I got free tickets from my job.
The one that was yesterday?
Yesterday, last night.
Oh, you might have been a good luck charm.
Yeah. So I'll give you kind of backstage info. At my job, we get tickets to a lot of shit here in Atlanta because we're like the biggest alcohol distributor in the state of Georgia. So State Farm Arena, Mercedes Benz, like Truist Stadium, they all get the majority of their alcohol from us. So we have some good seats and we have some okay seats. I emailed our ticket guy and I was like, yo, if you got any tickets to the Knicks and Hawks the next couple of games, like let me know. He's like, I got some for you for Saturday. This was before the game on Thursday where the Knicks lost. It's like, cool. We get there. We're in a section that has like all-inclusive buffet, wine, beer, like all kind of food. The chairs are comfortable. They were like recliner seats almost. I went to WrestleMania, and where I was sitting, it was these little plastic folding chairs. There was no room. Like you were literally sitting there like this, and I paid way more money for it. But these chairs were like there was room to spread out. You could sit back, you could lean over, go get alcohol, go get whatever you wanted without like kicking people over. It was from the best seats I've ever had at a game, and it was a playoff game, and it was free. So what I did this morning was I got up and I was like, I wonder how much these tickets cost for the next game is going to be here. $700 for those fucking tickets, a pop.
Shit.
Right. And there was people there that had paid for that.
Yeah, I mean, I got to figure out what these people are doing to just have this,
Right.
money that they could just throw like that. It is crazy. Yeah.
For one game, they paid that. There was a family of 3 next to us that were cheering for the Hawks, husband and wife and their like teenage son. And I'm cheering for the Knicks, obviously, but I was trying not to be like obnoxious because the kid, when you were a teenager, EJ, you like lived and died by your sports. At least I did. Like if the Knicks were losing or the Cowboys were losing, like it would ruin my fucking day. So I was trying not to be like too obnoxious when I was cheering for the Knicks. But I could look at the dad and tell he was just like, I paid $2,100 and these motherfuckers get beat by 20.
Oh damn. It was an ass kicking. C Fluid said the Boozy dunk. Is Boozy at the Hawks game like that? I know he's
he was trying to do the little trampoline dunk on. So on Thursday, they had I can't remember the act that they had there. What's my guy? Superman. Oh,
Soldier Boy?
Yeah, they had Soldier Boy at halftime. They had Boosie was there, and then they had somebody perform at the beginning. So I'm looking for to find out like who was going to be there for my game, and nobody. But God damn it, I can't think of his name now. Was it Young Dro who did the shoulder lean?
That's Young Dro. That's Dro.
Yeah, he was there. He came out in the middle of a timeout and performed last night, like a whole song. They were trying to kick him off the court, and he was like, "My set ain't over with," and like he's still rapping as he was getting off.
That's hilarious.
Atlanta, man, Atlanta's fun to go to sports stuff with. There's so much like hip hop and just music greatness that's here.
I remember they canceled the Magic City night recently. They should have let.
But there were still people there last night with the Magic City hoodies on.
That's funny. Yeah, Atlanta is the black mecca.
I mean, at a Braves game recently, you looked up and fucking T.I. just performed out of nowhere. Like,
T.I.'s got a resurgence this year. He got the Billboard hit and fuck with T.I.
Yeah, T.I.'s a guy. But yeah, so I hadn't had time to watch a lot of AEW. We'll get to our WrestleMania review though, because it's the show of shows, and there's a lot of polarizing opinions on WrestleMania this year. EJ, just without reviewing everything, what was your take on WrestleMania as a whole?
It was the tale of two nights. Y'all mentioned earlier that the commercials, even besides the fact they had a shit ton of commercials, I just thought Saturday night was ass.
Oh wow.
It wasn't good. Like they just didn't give enough people enough time. I mean, it could have had that episode on like an episode of Raw, basically. Even the main event, most people didn't like it, which includes me, but I had one person that actually liked it, and it just gave like a wild analysis of it. But yeah, just overall, it wasn't good. And of course, Sunday was a lot better. You probably have a different perspective because you were there in the crowd, so it's probably even cranked up higher since you were there to feel the energy. But yeah, Saturday wasn't good, and I feel like it was the reverse of last year. I know you said you enjoyed Sunday being there more than you did being in person last year, but I thought last year's Saturday was the better night, and Sunday was ass last year. So
Yeah, I think I've gotten lucky on the 2-night WrestleManias that I've gone to. I went to Saturday night in Dallas, and that was the night that Becky and Bianca wrestled. Cody came back. Stone Cold wrestled against KO. I don't remember everything else that happened tonight, but I just remember it was a fun night, and that was way better than what happened on Sunday. Last year, I thought Saturday was better than Sunday, even though other people were kind of saying opposite. I'm like, I thought last year's Saturday was way better than Sunday, especially with the whole Cody and Cena thing that left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. Sunday last year kicked off better with the Bianca, Io, and Rhea match, but I think that was literally the only highlight. Well, Becky came back. That was the only highlights of Sunday last year. I thought Saturday was great last year. So this year going to Sunday, I thought I was taking a big chance, man, but I looked at the card and I was like, look, you got Oba versus Brock. That's going to be phenomenal. You got Trick Williams' first fucking entrance at a WrestleMania, which we'll have to talk about. That's going to be great. The Demon came back, which was phenomenal. A ladder match, Jade versus Rhea, which was way better than anybody thought it would be. And then Roman and Punk. So, like, I don't think I was wrong by saying that Sunday was way better. Saturday, I have a different view on it than everybody else. Like we talked about earlier, I was at Stadium Swim. When I was watching wrestling, I was enjoying it. I liked the Usos and LA Knight versus the Vision and I Show Speed. I thought Liv Morgan and Stephanie was way too short. I know they were saying that both of them were kind of injured, but Liv Morgan turned around and had a fucking 10, 15-minute match with Sol Rucker the very next night on Monday Night Raw. So I thought that was odd. Paige coming back was good. Braun Breaker was weird that if he's good enough to run down the ramp like that, why didn't he just come back and wrestle? Becky winning the IC title. I did think the matches were very short, and I will agree. There was a lot of ads. Like what the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, this is the biggest show of the year. Some of these matches were less than like 8 minutes long, and then we have like 15 minutes of ads in between. And that's just not. It's almost like they're putting the UFC template on wrestling.
I mean, but even UFC, I can't, in this Paramount era, there's more ads, but like classic UFC pay-per-views, they don't have like a bunch of ads in between.
Well, what I say by that is, if you go to a UFC event and it's scheduled for 3 rounds, 5 minutes each, that's what, 20 minutes, give or take, with the breaks in between the rounds and the intros and all that.
Yeah, more or less.
So the fights are actually scheduled out at certain times. Like, you're gonna fight at 8 o'clock. You're gonna fight at 8:30. You're gonna fight at 9 o'clock. Like, every 30 minutes, a fight's supposed to start. I feel like in WWE they're doing the same thing, but they have control over how long the matches go.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no, this is going 4 minutes, and then we're gonna do a shitload of ads in between. Kind of like it's a real sporting event. Because in the UFC, if you get knocked out in the first 8 seconds, they got to fill all that time. And they do it with ads and fucking Daniel Cormier and everybody talking about the next fight. And I feel like that's what TKO's bringing to WWE, and I don't fucking like it.
I mean, unless they sell the company, that's just how it's going to be moving forward. So
I don't think so. I think this weekend was a big wake-up call for them.
I don't think it is. I think they're just going to keep moving forward and making money. Do you think they're going to take a step backward and make less money from these people that are giving them money to show their
That's
ads?
the thing. I don't think they're going to make less money. I think this weekend all kind of shit was reported of like how much more less successful this WrestleMania was financially for them than last WrestleMania. Now, is it something to complain about? No. But if they're being as greedy as they are, they have to take a look and realize, like, Why was it so hard for us to sell tickets this year? Why was it so hard for us to get people? Why are people so unhappy with the product we put out? And we talked about this months ago. And I said, I thought about a month or so after WrestleMania, some shit was going to go down with them. And I still think we're on schedule for that. I think we're on pace for it. When you got wrestlers on TV saying lower the fucking ticket prices.
Yeah, I mean, they might lower the ticket prices, but I think as far as like the ads and stuff, I don't think they're going to take a step back from that. It is what it is. But I don't know. Maybe something will give one day, but I think they're just keeping their head down and moving forward. Like, fuck with the fans. It's about our shareholders, which is nasty work. But I mean, we live in a capitalistic society, so it is what it is.
Before we get into WrestleMania, I do want to talk about WrestleCon. WrestleCon's a lot of fun every year. I was there with Jeff from Fully Posable and a couple of his buddies. We met up both mornings. I was there Friday and Saturday. And if you ever go to a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam and you talk about meet and greets and stuff like that, if you don't want to meet current WWE people it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, and you'd rather save a little money and still get to see like legends, like Jeff took a picture and got signatures from Will Ospreay, even though he got kidnapped recently. So I don't know how he was at WrestleCon, but Jeff took a picture with him and Okada, and I was there with like Mickey James and wrestlers from TNA and stuff like that. And this stuff isn't costing an arm and a leg. So if you ever go to a city that WrestleCon is in, I would suggest you go there. They actually have wrestling shows after also. And I mean, you walk around and it's like a who's who of wrestling. You got legends, you got current people, you got up and comers. WrestleCon is just always fun. So I definitely recommend people go do WrestleCon.
Who all did you say you met there?
I met Harley Hudson. Shout out to her.
Yeah, TNA. She was TNA, isn't she?
Yeah. Finally got a picture with SoCal Val. That was the trifecta of the Gaw TV with Mickey, Lisa Marie, and SoCal Val that have been on the show.
Gaw TV. What is that?
That was their podcast, Grown Ass Woman TV. They used to have. The three of them did a podcast for like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And she remembered. She was like, "Yeah, I remember that. Like, I'm following y'all on Instagram the whole nine." Like, she was real cool.
Shout out to her.
And so, some kind of way, I hope she doesn't care about me talking about this. Some kind of way, we got on the topic of the strip club called Little Darlings in Vegas. And I told her about the mishap that happened when we had our guys trip. They dropped us off there, and the stripper yelled at me because I gave her $100 bill instead of a $10 bill and asked for it back. And she called me a broke ass bitch, like that whole thing. I told her that, and she's like, "Oh my God, I got stories about this place with me and Frankie Kazarian and blah, blah, blah." So we laugh about it. I walk down the next aisle, and I shit you not, EJ, I turn the corner, and I'm like, "Is that a stripper pole?" And Jeff is like, "I think it is." And as we say that, we look up, and a girl's like climbing the fucking pole, like twerking on the pole, and it's Little Darlings. They have an advertisement in there. They're giving away hats and shirts and shit like that. So I fucking go back over. I'm like, "Val, come here. You got to come with me right now." we walk around the corner. She's like, "Oh my God." So she immediately goes over there, starts talking to him. That was a funny moment. I met Isla Dawn, who I wanted to meet for a while. Paige Van Zant.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually walking out of my hotel, and her and her husband were walking their dog. And unlike all those other people, I left them alone and just let them walk their dog. Who else did I? Obviously, I went and said what's up to Mickey. I'm very disappointed in myself because on the way to WrestleMania, we walked by Flanker Bar, which Trish Stratus had taken over. She was taking pictures of people when we walked there, and then as I came back, she was still taking pictures. I thought you had to like pay money for it, and I was like, whatever, I spent enough this weekend. And then Scott tells me, no, the Trish stuff is free. And I go back down there to meet Robin, and as I go back down there, literally the guys in front of me, they cut the fucking line off right there. So I didn't get a picture with Trish. Let me tell you, without being creepy, she was looking phenomenal.
Yeah, you were always Team Mickey though, so it is what it is.
Mickey looked phenomenal too. She probably looks better than she's ever had since I've known her, like in the past 8-9 years.
Aging like some fine wine.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't get to meet Trish, but plus them after Mania releases were early as hell this year. Yeah, we're gonna get to the Mania releases, C Fluid. We definitely are gonna get into that. But yeah, WrestleCon was phenomenal. So let's get into Mania, EJ. You said you didn't like Saturday. Any takeaways from Saturday you think are important enough to talk about?
I mean,
you gotta talk about Paige coming back, right?
Yeah, but I hate that it got leaked a couple days before. I don't even know how I got my algorithm because I don't follow like a lot of dirt sheets. I follow like just normal wrestling pages that report stuff. They don't report spoilers, but they report stuff. I can't remember if I heard it on the podcast or something a couple of days before, but yeah, it got leaked out, and so kind of saw it coming, which is a little bit annoying. But you know, shout out to Paige. I had a feeling this would happen because even when she left AEW, she would always report like never say never with the WWE, and you know the neck injury, and WWE is a little bit more cautious than maybe some other companies on bringing people back with those type of injuries. But happy for her, she got the big pop, and I think it was a little bit weird for her to win the tag team championship with Brie because you know Brie and Nikki were probably made to have these tag team titles, and I think that kind of waters it down if they do eventually give them the belts. But like I said, it's still a good moment for Paige. As far as
I didn't think about it that way. You're right. Like the Bellas winning the tag titles was a thing that they claimed they always wanted. So for Brie to win it with Paige, yeah, to me that just leads to like when Nikki's healthy, you know, shit's gonna hit the fan.
Yeah. So I don't even know what her status is as far as health, but hopefully she comes back soon. Bell to Bell, I thought Gunther and Seth was a good match on Saturday, but that's about it. The rest were like, they weren't like, a lot of the matches weren't terrible, but they were like, okay, this could have been a Raw match, and I'm not blinking an eye. I thought the main event was a bunch of smoke and mirrors and a bunch of just nonsense. That wasn't my cup of tea. It might be some other fans' cup of tea, but I didn't like the main event.
I think a conversation has to be had about Cody.
What's that?
And I was on here a couple weeks ago, and I said I hadn't liked Cody, his whole persona since he's been in WWE. But when they injected Pat McAfee into his storyline, I'm like, I'm starting to feel bad for him because he can't just have a WrestleMania main event without all this other shit involved in it, right? But I think the conversation needs to be had that maybe Cody's not a main eventer. Because this is 2 years in a row. And you've gone up against Randy Orton, one of the greatest of all time, John Cena, the greatest of all time in WWE's eyes. And you've laid two fucking shitters. Now, your two matches with Roman were great, but it was Roman in his prime. You're in your prime right now. Like, you could say Cody's got the excuse of, well, I wrestled John Cena his last couple years, or his last year or so, and he wasn't really there. Orton's been around 20-something years. He's longer in the tooth, like it's harder to do. But I watched The Rock and Hulk Hogan have one of the best matches of all time at WrestleMania, where The Rock carried that whole thing. Like, I think it's time that we have a serious conversation that Cody can claim this QB1 thing, but when the bell rings, he's definitely a backup.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's not a main eventer. He's just not the guy, because you got to have people there to be there on a weekly basis. But Roman is even though Roman says he's going to be there the whole summer, Roman's like the special attraction, even Punk more so. Cody is, you know, if you need a main event, he's there, but he's not like a special attraction, if that makes sense.
It's not, I don't think it's about being a special attraction, though. I think it's about he wants to be the guy. Like he wants to be the QB1, quote unquote. But when it comes down to it, his main event doesn't feel main event. It's only felt main event when Roman and The Rock were involved in it. Because afterwards, people are shitting all over him and John Cena. When's the last time a John Cena main event got shit on like that? People may have been unhappy that he won in his prime, but nobody was like, man, that match was awful. Like, it didn't even feel like WrestleMania. When's the last time Randy Orton's been in the main event of a WrestleMania like that or a big show and people have come away with this bad taste in their mouth?
Well, can Cody help though how they book it? Because people love the SummerSlam match between him and John Cena, but the WrestleMania match, it was like Travis Scott. Like, you think Cody asked for Travis Scott to come down and it was just mid? And then what was the other one this year?
He couldn't make the best out of it.
Probably not. If he has a road agent telling him to do this and do that, I'm not even a Cody, apologist to anything like that.
I'm not either, and that's what I'm old enough to remember Stone Cold versus The Rock at WrestleMania 17, and they tried to make Deborah McMichael, Stone Cold's wife, The Rock's manager, and that shit got left in the trail. Is Cody not big enough to be like, look, this is stupid?
Maybe not. You always know Cody's the company man, the yes man. Yes, sir, I'll do it.
Well, then, if Cody's the company man and the yes man, right, and we know that, then that leads me to say, don't come out trying to take shots at TKO in your promo, telling them to leave you the fuck alone and the whole nine.
I agree with that. Like, don't try to.
I don't need to see that shit on TV. If I'm a little kid that's a Cody fan, I'm 8, 9 years old, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just don't think Cody's, like you said, QB1. I don't know if he has complete control of what happens in the actual matches, even in a mess. But I mean, it is what it is. Like you said, the conversation needs to be had. But I feel like they're running with the guy because a lot of people had Randy winning and Cody still came out on top. I don't know what's next for him. His face looked a little messed up, but who knows how that happened.
That's another thing. He's so fucking extra with everything. All that fucking makeup, like, come on. I watched Ric Flair get kicked in the face by Randy Orton. He was fine the next week. He was drinking vodka crayons at the bar the same night. You got all this fucking makeup on, like you just couldn't make a black eye. You had to make a black face, basically.
You think that was makeup? I heard he got legitimately punched. It didn't happen for the punt. I heard he got punched in the face somewhere along the line.
And that whole I watch UFC guys get punched all the time, and they don't fucking have their faces that fucked up.
I mean, I don't think black eyes happen instantly. You probably don't see their face the day after when it happens. But I don't know how it happened, but I feel like it could have been reversed. I feel like his face was messed up. Why can't they have makeup to cover it up if he really got hurt?
Yeah, it just looked very Cody, very dramatic.
Yeah.
Saturday we also had Becky win versus AJ Lee, which I loved.
I love the result, but like I could not tell you what happened in the match because it was so short. And apparently AJ Lee is going away. So like, yeah, like it's not like I'm going to go back and watch the match, but I like that Becky won, even though I feel like the IC title should be used to build, we got an influx to call-ups we'll probably talk about later. I'm hoping Becky pays it forward and let one of that because the IC belt is made to elevate these people. And I feel like it's done in reverse with Tiffany. Now Tiffany's the US champion and she's kind of going backwards of she winning the main belt first and now she's a US champion. I don't know.
I actually did go back and watch the Becky match on the elliptical the other day and I was well, one, I was at Stadium Swim and full disclosure, there's just a lot of ass at the pools nowadays. And so like trying to watch WrestleMania was difficult. But I went back and watched that match. Becky was a powerhouse in that match. Like AJ Lee dove off the apron at one time. Becky fucking called her and did a what do you call the slam where they throw them over their head backwards?
A fall away slam?
Did a fall away slam into the guardrail. At one time, AJ Lee was coming at her to do a Shining Wizard. And Becky fucking caught her in midair and power bombed her. Like, like, what is happening? When did Becky Lynch turn into a powerhouse wrestler? I don't know. I thought the
When
match was good.
You could be a powerhouse when you're wrestling a girl that's like 4'11",
Yeah.
a $105 soaking wet.
I thought the story was good, especially with Jessica Carr in there.
Are they gonna pay that off? I'm hearing whispers that Jessica's gonna, because she's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Are they gonna have that?
I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but I enjoyed the story of that Becky outsmarting both of them, and to me that was a good match. Liv Morgan and Stephanie. I kind of hinted at it earlier. It's like they gave them like 7 minutes. There was no devil's kiss in the match, which I thought was crazy.
But I feel like she just did the devil's kiss recently.
Did she do it in WrestleMania? Because I don't remember it during.
I want to say she did do it in WrestleMania. I might be tripping, unless she did it on Raw. I can't remember. My memory is messed up.
Maybe she did it at Mania and I just missed it. But I felt that match was way too short, and I know they were saying, they're both injured the whole nine, but Liv turned around and wrestled Sol Ruca for like 10, 15 minutes on Raw.
Yeah. I don't think maybe Stephanie is, but if you're injured, then why does she have the belt? They should get the belt off her, and I don't know. It was just kind of underwhelming. I feel like the entrances were way longer than the match, and you got Liv, a pop star.
Oh my God, if they never play that fucking song again, I would not be mad at it.
It's not good. I mean, they did what's the group name? Def Rebel. They did their best to enhance her voices with the auto tunes and the bells and whistles, but I don't know. Like you said, it's not that good of a song, but it's like an earworm though. It'll get caught in your head.
Oh my God, I hope not. The last thing I want is that, I love Liv, but that to get caught in my head, no thank you.
But yeah, it was okay. I feel like you said, you had fun watching it at the in person, but I was on my couch and I'm like, probably not gonna go back and really watch this night of WrestleMania later on.
Well, I feel like night 2 was completely different.
Yeah, I mean, you go back, even though some of the matches were a little short, like the Trick and Sammy left a lot to desire, but a lot of times it's all about feels and vibes. Like the Brock and Over match was your typical Brock match, but it's the energy of the crowd that made it better. The passing of the torch, and Over is that guy, man, going forward. And I'm hoping they don't mess it up, because it's like you got to be, an idiot to mess it up. You got to, hand it to you on a silver platter on how to move forward with this dude. So I just want to get your thoughts on what the energy was like to kick the night off with that.
So I was sitting in the section with, there was just, I could only describe it as I sat with probably the best section I could sit with for sitting by myself. This is the first time I've ever went to a big wrestling show by myself. I mean, I had Robin and Scott with me in Vegas, but we all sat in different places. And these people were so cool around us, funny. We all had the same kind of sense of, you've been to wrestling shows with me, EJ. I talk a little bit of shit, not in an abrasive way, but just having fun with the show. Everybody that was around me was like that. My boy Ray from LA, he was actually 2 rows in front of me. So he and his son were going for CM Punk, so that was fun, fucking with them. But it was just a good group of people we were around, good energy. I actually got really lucky. The family next to me was a wife, a husband, and their kid, but the kid was really young. He's 4 or 5. So he was in the seat next to me, but the mom just held him the whole time. So the seat was empty. So even though we were all squashed in, I still had a little bit of room right there. So that was great. Cena comes out and he's like, we got to start this off with something electrifying. And I was like, oh my God, it's The Rock. And everybody around me got up and got excited. I was like, I'm not saying it's The Rock. I was like, I just think it's The Rock. So if it's not, don't y'all get mad at me. And they all kind of laughed. And then when Oba's music hit, we were like, oh, we're just about to start this shit off. And that match was, like you said, the typical Brock match. It was 5 minutes of just in Big E's words, big meaty men slapping meat.
Like my shirt says.
And it was phenomenal. Just to be there and to feel like the all that shit in person at the beginning of the night too. So everybody's all fucking sauced up. You know what I mean? Like they got a good lather going. It was phenomenal. Oba winning, and then when Brock took his shit off in the ring, EJ, the crowd went from, I don't think I've ever seen this. Like, if I was in the crowd at WrestleMania in Toronto with The Rock and Hogan, that could only be the closest thing I would imagine to this. The crowd went from hating Brock Lesnar to, as soon as he started taking his gloves and shoes off, they were like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? We love you. Where are you going?" Like, what's happening? We were just bullshitting. Like, we don't really want you to leave. We were just booing you because, but like, and it was like the craziest wave of emotion I had ever felt in a wrestling event before, to where people were happy this guy got his ass kicked and were like chanting stuff at him, talking shit. And then he got up and started taking his boots off, and they're like, "Oh my God, we love you."
Yeah, man. When you do wrestling right, that's how it's supposed to feel. Some people are, going back and forth of whether we'll see him one more time because you got SummerSlam in Minnesota, but that's a discussion for another day. But as far as Obafemi, like I said, they can't. It's almost impossible to mess this up. My only thoughts are moving forward. Even the follow up with Raul, I thought was really good. He just short and sweet. Came out.
He
and
did
said,
the Roman.
Yeah, he did it wrong. Instead, it was the chair version of it. Roman was getting booed out of the building.
Yeah.
When he did it after. So yeah, but my only thoughts is, I mean, it's basically, we don't do a whole lot of fantasy booking. It's clear as day. He needs to win the King of the Ring, and I hate to say it, he probably needs to get it off your boy Roman at SummerSlam. But my thing is, how are they gonna keep him occupied until then? Because he can't lose until then, and who's he gonna beat? Rusev? Whoever he's gonna face is gonna have to be squashes every time, right?
I don't necessarily think they got to be squashes, but I think Oba isn't your typical Darby Allin champion. I think he's a special attraction now. So I don't think it'll be hard for them to keep him strong. He doesn't have to be there every night. But I think he's Brock Lesnar now.
Yeah, but even where Brock Lesnar, when he debuted, because like I'm saying, they should give him the blueprint. When he debuted the night after SummerSlam, and they build him up by basically squashing people, Spike Dudleys and Jeff Hardys. Oba's already wrestled before Mania, and he basically did that already with Kit Wilson's and Rusev's. I was just wondering who they're gonna put in between then. Like you said, maybe they don't have to have him on TV every week. I'm just wondering who his first person is going to be coming up. Because
I honestly don't know, but that's for Triple H and TKO to figure out. That ain't for me. In my opinion, I think he's just going to be a special attraction. I think he'll do kind of what he did this past Monday. He'll come out, he'll say something, he'll leave. He'll get they'll build up a monster or something like that, like a Braun Strowman type. Oba will come in and beat his ass, and he'll be gone again. I don't think you put a title on Oba, because who's going to beat him?
I mean, you can say the same thing for other monsters in the past. Brock, I mean, go ahead.
When Brock did his thing, you had Kurt Angle there. So they both had the amateur background wrestling. Kurt had got juiced up, and he wasn't as big as Brock, but he was big as fuck back then. So you could legit see Kurt and Brock in their feud. And then you have Kurt beat Brock, and you got people that could beat Kurt. That's the way to get the title to go around. Who you gonna have beat Oba? Roman? That's it.
You got Gunther.
Gunther can't beat Obafemi. I'm sorry. Gunther's the guy. Gunther's my boy. But right now, he's that's not believable.
I get what you're saying, but you cannot have the world title on him. What is he there for? If he's the guy who has aspirations of winning the world championship. That was his whole thing on NXT. He's the ruler. This is his championship. You cannot just have the championship on him. Like I said, he's probably gonna win the King of the Ring. and get off Roman. It'll be like same thing with Brock and Rock. It'll be Oba and Roman, and Roman said he's gonna be here for the summer. SummerSlam is basically the culmination of the summer. Oba beats Roman, and Roman goes away and with his kids.
I've seen it happen with Cody. I've seen it happen with Punk. I've seen it happen with other guys in AEW. I do not see Roman Reigns getting squashed by anybody.
He's not gonna get squashed. It's gonna be a competitive match between him and Oba. I mean, we see Oba lose. You know, like he lost to fucking Ricky Saints.
Yeah, exactly. And he's lost to fucking
Trick. I want to say
to a couple people he shouldn't lose to, right?
Oh, so, he lost to Tony D'Angelo. He lost to NXT North America.
I was just about to say that. I was about to say, did he lose to Tony D? So it's not like he's unbeatable, but right now they want him to be they don't give a fuck about what happened in NXT.
Yeah, but we've seen that he has been beat, and you can make him get beaten and not look weak. That's the blueprints out there, but I don't see him losing anytime soon. So, like I said, it's almost impossible to mess this up, but TKO, I don't know, man. Never say never with them.
Right. We'll see. Let's see what else happened at WrestleMania Night 2. You had the ladder match, which I thought was phenomenal in person. Penta retains. I did not see that coming. I honestly thought Javon was going to win.
When we did the pre-show, I picked Penta to win just because the multi-man match, it'd be weird to have Javon win it in that type of match, being his first championship. I just thought it just set it up for Penta to retain, and that's what happened.
That fucking intro he had was dope, though. In the building, they did the whole like Mortal Kombat. I don't know if you got to see it on TV because I hadn't went back and watched, but they did like a whole Mortal Kombat origin story of why he looked like Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
It was fucking dope, and that entrance was phenomenal. That was a good ladder match.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a way to, real fans to tune into the main show because, that was on ESPN. So, yeah, I thought it was a good way to segue into the show.
And then if you tuned into the main show, you got to see this boy had a train longer than Amtrak on his jacket. Trick Williams, my God. This was so much fun to be in person for. I didn't even get a lot of video at WrestleMania, EJ. I was just
in the moment.
I had a couple drinks. I was just in the fucking moment, man. And this was so much fun. Trick, I almost feel bad for Sammy.
Why is that?
Like, what did Sammy do to become a heel to where y'all started hating him?
I mean, he didn't do anything himself, but he just is the scapegoat because it should have been. Why couldn't it have been a four-way match, a fatal four-way with our guy Carmelo? Like Carmelo should have been in that match.
Because I don't think you get the reaction you do if it's a multi-man match. Then Trick just beating Sammy.
Well, unfortunately, Sammy's the scapegoat for other talent being left out, but it is what it is.
I will say this, and I want to stay consistent on my celebrity shit. I don't give a fuck about Lil Yachty being there. Like, to me, he's an annoying part of the Trick get up.
So you wish he was away? I thought for some reason I interpreted that as
I'm over it. Like that whole thing on SmackDown, he just annoyed the fuck out of me.
I don't mind him being there. Apparently he's going to be basically a full-time manager at this point, which is crazy. Like, it's funny when these celebrities do like these side quests, but I don't find him annoying like a Pat McAfee being inserted. I feel like it's a little bit more natural, but it is what it is. I don't know if you saw SmackDown for some reason. It made me laugh. Why he just slapped a backstage person out of nowhere for no reason?
Right. But no, I did see SmackDown. He's annoying. When Sammy hit him with that cane, I was like, fuck yeah, he's at it. Also, Joe Tessitore called Sami Zayn an adult size cinnamon, pound of cinnamon or some shit. Like y'all just over the top for calling this man the gingerbread man. Like, enough already.
Isn't that like a little bit offensive calling it a red-headed ginger?
Kind of racist, honestly.
Yeah. It is what they're running with it though. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think Trick will be, like I said, I thought I was probably wrong. I guess it's the reverse because it seems like Oba's going to skip the mid-card title. I thought at the beginning, Trick got probably a big reaction before the Oba shit just took over. But I'm guessing they have him on the mid card team. Even though I thought he could have skipped it, but I guess it's a good spot for him for right now. And
Has there been a class of NXT wrestlers that come out that have been this successful this fast? If you look at Trick, Oba, and Javon,
maybe not in that trio. And I think, like I said, I think Javon's a little bit behind them. I think he could have been running with the NXT title. I think he could have been running with the NXT title right now. And
I think Javon is perfect for the main. Like, he's super fucking over. You should have heard the crowd when he came out at WrestleMania. Is he going to get a world title run? No. But I thought an IC title win would have been great for him here, which I'm pretty sure he's going to get. I think Javon is fucking... Honestly, I think he's perfect for the main roster. I really do.
He's. I'm not saying he's not ready for the main roster. I feel like they got enough people where they didn't necessarily need him right now. They could have kind of like scattered it a little bit and have him run with the NXT title until later on this year, then debuted him. But I'm just nitpicking because they got some call-ups, so I thought it probably should have been there a little bit sooner, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, like I said, he's ready for the main roster, but I just feel like him run because NXT is a little bit thin right now, and I feel like he could have been the main champion right now, but instead of Tony D. But
I don't think there's ever been a group of NXT talent coming up and been this successful at the beginning. I mean, this guy just retired Brock Lesnar.
Kind of turned Trick into a pimp. That is kind of a turning Trick into a pimp, says C Fluid. I mean, a little bit. That is kind of a little bit racially insensitive, but we'll see how they move forward.
His fucking hashtag is whoop that trick. That's literally from a pimp movie.
That's true. But his name is Matrix, so this is his actual name.
His real name ain't Trick.
Yes, it is. Matrix.
Matrix, not Trick.
Short, but it is what it is. I lost my train of thought. I was about to give a point, but
I was saying the three guys that come up right now from NXT. I don't think there's ever been a group this successful. Again, Trick won at WrestleMania. He won a U.S. title. Oba retired Brock. Javon Evans was in a 6-man ladder match that honestly he could have won, but he's been over as hell on Monday Night Raw. Like, I think this has been the best group they've had in a while. Like, people talk about Gargano and Ciampa and all these guys that came up, but like, they didn't have what these dudes have.
Maybe I can't remember who exactly came in Finn's group, but like you said, it's been like over 10 years. Finn won the world title out of the gate when he came on the main roster. So
it wasn't necessarily out of the gate.
Yeah, he was like just there.
He had to go through a tournament and all this. Like,
that was like the same, maybe like a month into his run. He got the world championship.
I could be wrong, but I felt like it was longer than that.
Yeah, it was very short, and he got the world title. That's just the days of OV. Yeah, that class with Randy Orton and
but Brock, even they didn't come out the gate like this though. Brock did.
Yeah, Randy took a while, and John Cena took a while.
Yeah, Orton and Cena both took a while. Shelton Benjamin joined fucking Team Angle. Like, I don't know. I think 10 years from now, if we're still doing this, we're going to look back on this class of NXT and be like, this shit right here changed the game.
Yeah. As long as they don't mess it up. But out the gate, super hot. So I'm excited to see how these guys blossom over these next few months and next few years.
Rhea versus Jade was way better than I thought it would be.
Is it because Rhea is good in the ring, but she's no Becky, she's no Bailey, she's no Mercedes. Was it a Rhea thing, or has Jay just improved that much?
I think people don't want to give Jay. People don't ever want to give Jay credit for how decent. I don't want to say good, but how well she does in the ring. I think Jade's way better than people give her credit for. She might have a mishap here and there, but I think, like, eventually you got to start looking at people's resumes. Like, great matches with Statlander. She had great matches during that TNT title run. She had great matches with
I gotta go back and look at it because a lot of them were short. I don't know how great they were, but like you said, the matches with her and Stat were really good. I just don't want to have revisionist history as far as what I saw in AEW.
She's had multiple good matches with Tiffany Stratton. She's had good matches with Michin. Like, eventually you got to stop hating and realize, like, all right, maybe she might be all right. Now, is she fucking Mickey James or Becky Lynch or any like or Sasha? I'm sorry, Mercedes. No, she's not Charlotte. She's not any of these like top tier people. But she definitely ain't the bottom. And when you got to look like her and you got a superstar aura like she does, you don't need to be at the top like that.
I mean, she's a powerhouse. She goes in there and wrestles like a powerhouse. Like, what powerhouses you see, going in there having Iron Man matches? Like, you didn't see Kevin Nash was solid in the ring, but you didn't see him go in there 60 minutes. He wrestled like a powerhouse, and all the other powerhouses out throughout history. So, like you said, a lot of people nitpick, but like she does what she needs to do in the ring.
Seaflow in the chat says, did Rhea really need to win this match? I don't think she did.
I agree with. But I don't think she should have. Why? Like, it's just the same old rinse, wash, repeat with her. I don't see like I thought Jay should have won, but that's just being a dumb fan, like just nitpicking at the result. But yeah, I don't think she needed to win.
I didn't think she should either. But who knows? Jay might be going on to do movies or some shit like that. I thought this was a good show on Jade. I thought Rhea looked like a fucking superstar. Being in the building for a Rhea entrance is. And I'm not a Rhea fan at all, but it's like when I was a kid, I hated Michael Jordan, but you could respect the Michael Jordan fact. You have to respect, like, Rhea commands a fucking audience, man. Like, when she comes out, she knows exactly how much sex appeal to use. She knows exactly how much goth, like, crazy girl to use. And then she wrestles well. Like, this woman, she's got it figured out, man. She really does.
Yeah, like you said. I mean, she's got the title for a reason, even though we thought she shouldn't have won at Mania. I mean, I just don't know what they do with her moving forward. They got a lot of call-ups, so I guess we'll talk about that later. Maybe to pivot off with her and some of these new call-ups, but it is what it is. Like you said, the presentation, a lot of that has to do with it. And like you said, seeing it in person, you were, impressed. So
I happened to be in the bathroom at the time that Finn Balor came out, so I was upset that I didn't get to see his entrance.
Damn, with all those ads, you still missed it? You must have been a long line.
It was a long line. I had to get whiskey, and I had to go to the bathroom, and the line was ridiculous. But Finn Balor, the Demon, beats Dominic Mysterio in a match that was honestly pretty forgettable. It was probably the only forgettable match on Sunday.
I don't remember too much with it, and I don't know. I feel like sometimes injuries played a part in Finn Balor's stops and goes, but I don't know. Hopefully, he'll get some momentum out of this. I think he's probably going to be one of those upper mid-card, lower main event when they need to plug in a spot in the road to SummerSlam. Maybe he'll get a main event here and there. Yeah, he's back to the trunks. Back to the normal music, so I'm curious to see what happens with him going forward.
The music is a big thing, though. Shit, yeah, it slaps. If they just would have announced Finn Balor versus Mysterio, and the Demon came out, why spoil it?
I still don't understand why they announced it before. I think we talked about it on the pre-show. I don't know. I don't think announcing that's going to sell you a few more tickets.
It's not. But imagine the fucking pop when they're like, Finn Balor, and they start his music, and then the lights go out. And it's like, dun, dun. That fucking heartbeat comes up. Nigga, we would have lost our shit in there.
Yeah, and then you could have had Dom sell the facial expressions on he didn't expect them. It's a head scratcher, but whatever.
Tribal Chief Roman Reigns defeats CM Punk in the main event, EJ. 34 minutes they went. The majority of the matches on Sunday went less than 10 minutes. They gave Roman and Punk 34 minutes.
I think I have to go back and watch Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda, but I think this is probably the best main event, like bell to bell, they've had in the past 10 years or so, if I'm not mistaken. Like final match. I'm not even including like the night one main event since they went to 2 nights. Maybe the Bryan, Edge, and Roman. I have to go back and watch that. But as far as bell to bell, it's probably like one of the best main events I could think of in the past 10 years or so.
Well, you brought up Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte, and I thought that match was phenomenal. I feel like most Roman main events are really good. You know, he had a couple stinkers with Brock just because it was Brock, but I felt like Roman and Cody night, the first match and the second match are really good too. But I'm gonna agree with you, man. And as much as I hate to give him his credit, your boy Punk did his thing this match.
Yeah. What's the song? He's not as good as he once was, but he's as good once as he ever was. He's not Punk from 12 years ago, but when he needs to, get up for a main event, we saw it even in AEW. He had some good ones. He could put it on. So how was it being in the building watching that match?
So much fun. Everybody around me was basically going for Roman except for this one black dude that was there with all his friends. He was dressed head to toe in CM Punk stuff.
What a nerd.
And they were talking so much shit to him. At one point, like, I started taking up for him. I was like, you know what? I fucking hope Roman loses just so y'all can get y'all shit. He was like, if he loses, put your record on because I'm talking but yeah, it didn't happen. But it was a lot of fun being there in the building forward. Like, Punk's got his people and Roman's got his people. And I literally saw people chanting CM Punk and would literally stop chanting CM Punk and start chanting OTC. And it was like, who are you for?
Fickle. That's who they are.
I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just saying it in a way of like, this main event was perfectly built for WWE. You had people that couldn't pick a fucking side, that wanted both guys to win. There was people like me that were Team Roman, and there's people, like the guy I was talking about earlier, that were Team Punk. But then, a third of the crowd was like, we don't give a fuck, man. Just give us a great match. And that is what I think leads to really good energy in the crowd.
Yeah. Some people complain about, it kind of being like a split storyline where, shades of gray. Sometimes it always doesn't, translate well, but it did in this instance when you got to the actual match. And yeah, hats off to those guys.
And that was WrestleMania. Like, again, as somebody that went there and went to it, I thought this was better than last year.
As far as
my overall experience.
Oh.
I can't tell somebody else which one they thought was better. My overall experience this year was way better this year than it was last year.
Yeah. Maybe because you went to night 2 and it was a lot better than the previous night.
Or it could have also been like I knew what to expect in Vegas, so I knew how to plan it out better.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year, I was just kind of going with the flow, and I went to WWE World. I didn't do that this year, which was a waste of money. I did a couple things last year that I was just like, I probably shouldn't have did that. It was just a waste of time and a waste of money. This year, it was more streamlined. I did what I wanted. I planned my stays out better. Like, I stayed on Fremont the first couple nights and then moved over to the Strip. That was better. Just everything was better this year than it was last year.
Where'd you stay out on the Strip?
Mandalay Bay.
Oh, it's at Mandalay Bay. I was about to say if you were at the MGM, I didn't know if you bumped into anybody at the bar or anything, the hotel bar.
No, I originally was gonna stay at MGM, and then I moved it at the last minute to Mandalay Bay.
Oh, nice.
I also got one of those. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the belt fanny packs that they had, EJ?
Nah. Oh, you sent me to me. You said they were giving them out for people that checked in, right?
No.
Yeah, they had the alcohol in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you sent it to me. You said you hope you got one of them. Did you get one of them?
I did. I didn't get one for free though. I had to pay for it.
Oh, you had to pay for it. Okay. Yeah, it was dope.
It's full of tequila. It came with So you know the little running backpacks that people have that have the thing you suck the water in from? That's basically what this was. But it's a wrestling fanny pack. I'm gonna love this thing this summer. You can put it in the freezer. You can fill it up with whiskey and Coke if you want. You can clean it out, the whole nine. It was full of some kind of tequila drink. Excuse me. It was phenomenal. Yeah, just my overall experience, like I said, was great. And shout out again to Robin and Scott for coming.
You stayed out that over that side on the strip when you do go to strip to like the Excalibur and Mandalay Bay. It's gonna be a clusterfuck over there, like in the next 3-4 years. They're building
that baseball stadium,
and they're building an NBA arena over there.
Oh, they are getting an NBA team.
Yeah, they're building the NBA arena on the south Las Vegas Boulevard, like right across, like really close to Mandalay Bay and Excalibur and all. So it's gonna be a cluster.
I mean, literally across the street from MGM is where the baseball stadium is. Like, the traffic's gonna be awful. I honestly don't know how many times I'm gonna go to Vegas the next couple years, because Frontier and Spirit here from Atlanta have basically said they're not doing Vegas trips anymore, which I rarely flew with them, but they made Delta and Southwest be competitive. So now to fly to Vegas, it's like $600 round trip when it used to be like $250.
What? That's ridiculous. I thought it might have been because of the fuel prices, but it's just because the other airlines ain't doing it.
It's because the cheaper airlines have decided to stop. So now they're like, they don't think it's worth it to them to fly that far for that cheap. So now, like I said, Delta and Southwest and American Air, like, oh, cool, we don't have to compete with them. $650.
Nasty work, man.
It really is. Let's talk some WWE releases and call-ups. The Wyatt Six got released. Kaylee Ray got released, aka Alba Fire.
Black and Vega.
Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, Apollo Crews. Am I missing anybody?
Some NXT people.
That weren't really on TV
Anufi and whatever.
They were guys. Prospects. But
a mainstay on NXT, Andre Chase U, he got released. So
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not surprised by any of these cuts.
I'm a little surprised about Vega and Black, but the Wyatt Six. Kairi Sane, that's a huge one. I'm surprised about that one. That's about that. You're not surprised about Sane?
I am. She was literally in the middle of a year-long storyline,
and they didn't pay it off, which is
no payoff.
But as far as 2 years ago, you got a lot of flack on like TikTok about the Wyatt Six and how you were crazy, how you wasn't a fan of it, and how it never works out, and they were giving you a whole bunch of shit. 2 years later, now what?
So here's the thing. I would love to take a victory lap and like go dunk on all these people about, I got called everything but a child of God with my opinion on the Wyatt Six. And the thing is I can't go take a victory lap on it because people literally lost their jobs. Who knows what they're going to do going forward. And you hate to see shit like this. But for the people that were calling me names and telling me I was stupid and impatient and the whole nine, this thing was never going to work. It didn't work with Bray.
It didn't work with Bray, but like he still had his following. And I went back and looked at the TikTok video. I was on the side of like let it play out just to see what happens. But 2 months later, when I saw they weren't doing anything, I'm like, all right, this ain't working. So I never like just stayed on that train. A lot of people stayed on the train. Like you said, even though Bray had the cult following, it was always start and stop, and it was always weird, and it really didn't work out in the long run. You know what? They with the the spooky and paranormal and stuff should have retired with the Undertaker. It can't work in today's wrestling world.
It's
Fans
not
are too
good.
smart. Yeah, it should have retired with the Undertaker, and I'll stand on that. And like you said, you hate to see people lose their jobs, but that shit doesn't work out in the modern wrestling world.
It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to dunk on people just because other people lost their jobs because of it, but I just call me the angle opposite hypotenuse. I'm always right.
One thing I like I said, I don't want to make fun of people getting their job lost. One thing I've always said, guys like Rusev, guys like Andrade, and guys like Aleister Black, they're malcontents, and it's always something or another. And I hate he was only there for a year, but I said this guy's a mid-card dude. The grass ain't green on the other side. He was scratching and clawing to get back to WWE, and now look at him, unemployed. I don't want
You gotta be
ahead.
CM Punk to be a malcontent.
Exactly.
You literally have to sell the most merchandise at a WrestleMania weekend to have that kind of attitude, which is what CM Punk did this past week. And that's one of the reasons I don't like CM Punk. They hand this guy everything and he's never happy. And I feel like Aleister Black is like that.
And so out of all these releases, the only people I think, because AEW's roster's full, the only people I think that should pick them up are Motor City Machine Guns, because they could always be tag teams.
Nah.
I know you're not a fan of them, but they would bolster. And Kairi Sane, the rest of them, go on the indies, get your weight up. And reports are somebody in creative control, Sean Dean, he's with the infantry. He's a he's one of the talent relations at backstage at AEW. Somebody posted, or someone, a fan was like, I can't wait till the House of Black gets reformed. And he went on Twitter and said, no. And that made me smile. Good, because the grass ain't always green on the other side. Go back to TNA or the Indies and get your weight up, since you didn't want to be in the company so bad. I hate it for Zelina, because I'm a Zelina fan, but it is what it is. Your husband kind of made his bed, so kind of got to lay in it with him, right?
Yeah, that's, again, it's a tough thing to talk about just because people get released the way that they did. But with all the reports that we read as fans, like, you kind of have, like, how do you not see it coming? Yeah. For certain people, like with the bad attitudes and the refusal to work with certain people, like, I don't know what you wanted. And honestly, Zelina and Aleister, I think they could have worked, but I think WWE tried to put them in the Karrion Kross and Scarlett role.
Exactly what they tried to do.
And people didn't want that. They wanted Karrion and Scarlett. Like, that was never going to work. But to release Kairi Sane,
yeah,
a year into a whole storyline with her and Asuka and Io and Rhea, and like, there were so many moving parts in this storyline, and just like, nah, we're good.
No payoff, so she just got treated like shit for how many months, and okay, let's release her. I wonder if that's gonna rub like Asuka and Io the wrong way. Like, that's their girl, and no payoffs. Zelina got pissed off with Sean Sapp reporting it, according to C Fluid. I mean, I probably would too if you leaked it.
She did. She was mad that he reported it before she got to say it, and he went on a thing saying, like, I waited a couple hours, like, this is still my job. It was no hard feelings. People are mad at him for not apologizing. Honestly,
I agree with him though.
Yeah, I'm kind of on his side. Like, that's his job. He didn't report anything that wasn't news
out there. Yeah, it was
right.
news.
It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't a spoiler. Like,
it wasn't like a storyline thing.
and if he waited a couple hours and they didn't put anything out, then that's on y'all. You can't get mad at people for beating you to the story. Nobody knew before you did.
Exactly. You could have went online 30 minutes later.
Look what R-Truth did last year.
Mm-hmm.
He found out he wasn't getting, and he went straight to Twitter. And now look at him, tag team champion.
Yep. So yeah, it's a little bit weird that she did that. That's his job, but yeah, like we seen time and time before. This is what they do after WrestleMania. So it's up for the talent to reinvent themselves. And if it's the end of the line and you want to do something else, that's fine as well. So I wish all those people the best. But it's TKO. It's a rolling stone, or what it say? keep a plug and play. But people, TKO, I'm hearing like TKO, it's not that they don't pick the people that they release. Like they'll send the numbers and it's up to your guy. Paul Levesque is the one who releases the specific people. So what do you say to that?
Same thing I've been saying. This motherfucker skates all the blame all the time. Everybody blames everybody but him. When the storylines suck, oh, it's The Rock's fault. When people get cut, oh, that's TKO's fault. When Raw's trash or SmackDown, oh, that's the Road Dogg's fault. Thank God they got rid of him. It's never his fault. And I don't understand if people know the same Triple H that I've known for years as a wrestling fan, I don't know how you can't fault him. This guy's a piece of shit. Ask Bray Hart.
Yeah, Bray Hart don't like nobody. But they are, so like you said, like I said, I'm hearing that if TKO shows them the budget they have and it's up to him to release it, like he's kind of between a rock and a hard place. He's got to release somebody. So how can you really blame him if he has to pick who he wants to release? But like he said, if he got to pick who to release, why would you release Kyrie? That's the only one like I'm raising an eyebrow at. Like you couldn't release. I hate to do. I'm not even gonna name any names.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm not gonna do that. But you could have. There's other people you could have released besides Kyrie. Right. So that's the only one I'm raising an eyebrow at. But it is what it is.
So before we go across the street to AEW, EJ, let's take a little break. Give me like a couple minutes. I'll put an overlay up here and we'll take a short break and then we'll be back to talk some AEW.
And we gotta talk call-ups though.
Yeah, and WWE call-ups. So give us a second, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Boot to the face, Chris Rucker, EJ Reed. Sorry about the delay. Let's talk WWE call-ups, EJ.
Yeah, Raw and SmackDown got some all-ups. Which one?
Okay. If you had to pick one that you think is going to work out the best, which one would it be?
I'm gonna go with Soul Rucker. Even though I don't know if you saw NXT, she took a kind of a weird fall with her last match with Zarya.
My goodness.
I think she got lucky though, because when I saw the replay, I don't think her head really got caught on the table like that, unless I'm misseeing it. Because
to me,
she's supposed to go through two tables.
Brutal.
She's supposed to go through 2 tables and only went through 1. I don't know. How did you see it?
It was brutal. But she was on. Well, no, she was on Raw first, right?
Yeah, Raw and NXT.
Okay. I hadn't seen the reports of her having any kind of concussion or anything like that, but that shit looked awful.
Yeah, so, but like you said, Liv put on a short match with Stephanie, and then goes and puts on a longer match with Soul the next day. So, but yeah, with that being said, I think Soul has the biggest upside, even though I might be wrong. If I don't know if you had the list of people that got called up off the top of my head, I think it's Soul and Ethan and Joe Hendry on Raw, Fatal Influence, Ricky, and it might have been one more on
Blake Monroe.
Blake Monroe. I gotta say, even though I'm still not a fan of the girl JC Jane, boy, that heat that she got on SmackDown, maybe they got something there.
I wonder if that was just a post WrestleMania thing, because they claim that people that watch Raw and SmackDown don't watch NXT. But that was like Dominic Mysterio back in the day heat that they had.
You think they might have been piping in a little bit of it?
I don't know, but I will say this, and you know, I have a card. I'm a certified JC Jane hater.
Me too.
She didn't look bad in the ring with Rhea.
Yeah, and they kind of need a 4-0 for Rhea, like I was saying earlier. Like, what does she do next? And maybe Toxic Attraction get propelled right in that spot.
Fatal Influence.
Oh yeah, I said Toxic Attraction. I always intertwine those names because she was in both of them. Fatal Influence, not Toxic Attraction. Shout out to Mandy Rose though. Yeah, maybe
Shout
Fatal.
out to Gigi Dolan.
Her too. Maybe at a top heel group, and you got a built in. Like I said, I'm not a fan of them people skipping the mid card title, but maybe you have her contention with that, and you have her Fallon and Lainey Reed. That's her name, right? Lainey Reed with the tag team belts. They could be with the tag team belts. So. And your girl Fallon, she got called up too. I know you're happy about that.
SmackDown is now must-see TV.
Yeah.
Fallon Henley's on SmackDown now. I think she's going to end up outshining JC Jane like sooner than later.
I hope so.
If they give her the chance, I think she's going to outshine her. I don't know why they didn't give her the chance on NXT, but she's a better wrestler. She has a better look. She's better on the mic. Like, she checks every box that JC Jane doesn't. But yeah. I will say this. As somebody that's been on here and that's complained about JC Jane being the champion, and I just don't see it in her. She had star power on SmackDown, man. She really did. She looked good she sounded good on the mic. She looked good in the ring. She had a good match with Rhea. She was able to adjust to the crowd booing the shit out of her. I was impressed by her, man. I really was. And again, I try to be as unbiased as I possibly can. I'm not a fan, but looking at it from 10,000 feet, like, I don't think she could have had a better showing as a debut on the main roster.
Yeah, because they said the worst thing is not getting a reaction. She got the opposite of that. Fans were not about it, and in a good way, like playing along with the show. So that's all you could ask for. Like you said, it couldn't have went even better for her. So hopefully they keep that momentum going on, because they just released people, so they have to have the next person up. So I'm excited to see what goes with them forward. But as far as the male talent, I think Ego is in the place that he needs to be. he'll be the mid card guy with the IC title. I feel like he's always meant to be a main roster guy. I don't know how well Joe Hendry's stick is going to work. I think that might get tired after a while. I'm a little bit afraid for Ricky though. I don't know how well he'll fit in. And I liked him in AEW. I thought the NXT had some ups and downs. I don't know how you feel about Ricky being there.
I'm a bit trepidatious about it, but I'm willing to give it a chance. I think it may be too close between he and the Trick debut.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you would have put a year in between them, because I think he's got the opportunity to be as big as Trick is right now.
I don't know. I don't know.
But
Trick got those reactions on NXT. I haven't really seen like a whole lot. Sometimes it works better on the main roster, but has Ricky really got reactions on NXT like that though?
I think he's the heel version of Trick though. Trick's like a babyface, even though he doesn't want to be. But I just feel like maybe 6 months in between or 8 months in between Trick and Ricky debuting together. I think he could do well. Joe Hendry. Seafood says I give Joe about a year.
I can see him being the next rounds of the post rating. He gives him a year about what? To get over or to be out of the company? It's a very, really vague on that comment.
If you're asking me, I feel like May 2027, Joe Hendry will be back in TNA.
Or out of wrestling completely. Like, what is it? Like, what does he do back in TNA? Unless he like completely does an overhaul of his character.
They believe in Joe Hendry in TNA.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But also, I know you haven't been a fan of her NXT run. I'm curious to see how Blake Monroe does on the main roster.
I'm just as curious as you are. When I saw that vignette, I thought, But I'm nowhere near as down on her as I was the Wyatt Six. Like, I think she's got a 50-50 shot of getting over.
I think so too. She's got the look. People are clamoring to see her and Tiffany Stratton. I mean, I guess that'd be a good spot to put her right in the mid card.
Maybe that's why they gave Tiffany Stratton the U.S. title.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Julia wasn't really doing much with it. I feel like even with the momentum with what's the girl who runs with Julia?
Kiana James.
Yeah, Kiana James. I feel like she had momentum. Like she was being like a powerhouse, and they kind of slowed that down a little bit. So,
oh my God, they could run back the Kiana and Fallon Henley tag team.
They could.
I would love that. They were so good.
They could do that if they want to. Yeah, so got new blood in there. So we'll see how it plays out during the summer.
Well, EJ, if we're done with the Fed, as the marks like to call it, we'll go across the street to AEW.
Yeah, it's been a while since we were able to talk about it. During the Mika Mania, we had a new world champion. And I know you weren't a fan of it. So I guess I'll let you kick it off. I don't know. I know you didn't get to see it live. How'd you get to see it?
I honestly still haven't watched it. I still can't believe it. Nobody told me my dog Sting showed up, though.
Yeah, that's why I absolutely loved it, man. We talk about it over and over in the show, how sometimes it's paint by the numbers with this wrestling. Like UFC, you're a champion. It's not necessarily you defend it many a times before you lose it. Sometimes you just get caught. And I feel like they did a good job of telling that story. MJF had a war with Kenny Omega a few days earlier. When he went into the arena, they did like a segment in the beginning of the show, him and Don Callis, and he was coming in the arena, and the announcer told him, like, hey, you got a title shot against Darby. He won his, and MJF was like, what? I'm just defending my belt. I ain't doing that. And he went to the ring, and they were going to have it at the beginning, but he was like, no, I'm ready yet. So they like delayed it, and throughout the show, they showed like you said, Sting came, and they did like promos, like saying, like building up for the match throughout the show, and then later on in the main event, it brought me back to the days of you were a big WCW fan. Remember Luger and Hogan on Nitro, and nobody expected that. Foley and the Rock. Sometimes you have some bumps on the way to the road to All In because people are saying, all right, it's going to be MJF and Ospreay. So it's kind of boring when you know what's going to happen. And I like this little bump in the road where anything can happen. And that'll put butts in seats. Foley and Rock, people still talk about that to this day, how that happened on a random Raw. So that's why I was a fan of it.
Would you still be a fan of it if Darby Allin's the champion at All In?
No, absolutely. No. Now if that happens, then no. But I think that's why he's this fighting champion where he's defending like a TV belt. I think they want to get him some defenses before MJF gets it back at Double or Nothing in New York. So, but yeah, if it happens, retroactively, I'll come back and say I was wrong if Darby has it All In. So yeah, I wouldn't be a fan of that at all.
I'm just of the ilk that I thought there was all these reports out that MJF was leaving to go do a movie and all this shit. And Wade Keller said that's bullshit. He's not going anywhere. So this is a purposeful storyline. And I'm just of the ilk of like, I like it, but I don't like it. Like I like the fact that we don't have a champion where you're like, all right, for the next 8 months, he's the guy till we get to All In. But I'm also not mad at MJF having a really good fucking title run and getting to All In. Everybody named Mama knows that Darby Allin's not going to be the champion before we get to All In. It's going back to MJF. We've pretty much all called that it's going to be Will Ospreay versus MJF eventually. They've thrown us off the scent the past couple years, right? Like, it's at least 2 years we thought Ospreay was going to win at All In, and he didn't. But now it's like so obliviously obvious. I don't even think that's the thing. It's so incredibly obvious that it's going to be Ospreay and MJF. Ospreay's going to run through the Owen Hart tournament.
But like you said, it's like a catch-22. Like you said, I like MJF's run too. If he would have, carried it all in, even though it would have been good, but we would have been expected. So it's like either you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I like this little bump in the road where Darby gets it, and then MJF will probably get it back. Like you said, it's obvious. Like you got to tell a story somehow, and how could you tell it without being too obvious? It is what it is, man.
But now you got Darby as
you just don't like Darby. That's what it is.
You got Darby as the champion. He's fighting fucking Brody King next week. In no world should he leave the champion on Wednesday.
That'd be some shit if Brody won it. Then I'll be just confused. But yeah, and then that match.
Honestly, if Brody won, that would make me feel better about it because now it's a real sport. Now it's real. Now it's UFC. Now it's boxing. Now it's you won a title. You put yourself out there too many times. You got caught. And now you don't have the belt anymore.
See, I wouldn't even be too mad at that. Like, a lot of people don't like the hot potatoing, but it happens in the past. Like, it happens so much times in the Attitude Era, in the WCW 2000s era. So, if it makes sense, then it is what it is. But
they literally had Kane beat Stone Cold in the first blood match and then lose the belt the next night on Raw.
Exactly. So, it's happened before, and people didn't complain back then.
The Rock and Mick Foley traded the belt like three times going into WrestleMania between Royal Rumble.
Exactly. So like it's just like the smart fans that complain about it. It's a hot potato. But like you said, if it's mimicking real sports, it happens. Like it's so many times throughout UFC history where it's like there was no long-term champion. Champions were just losing it, not defending it at all. So it happens. So I wouldn't be mad at it, like you said, if it was a surprise Brody win, but I thought that.
And as much as we don't like to talk about booking and behind the scenes stuff on here, I think Tony Khan needs to fucking put his Twitter account down. Stop fucking booking for people that are tweeting and hashtagging AEW.
What do you mean by that?
If you feel like Brody King winning the title this week would be better for your company, fucking do it. If you feel like making the title change hands 5 times before All In comes up next week, fucking do it.
Yeah,
Quit
stand on
listening to
business.
motherfuckers on the internet.
Stand on business. If that's, I kind of feel like he does at times because I don't know. I get what you're saying. He is on Twitter a lot, but yeah, stand on business. If you want to do something, then just do it. Go ahead and do it. But I was saying, I thought the match between Dauber and Ciampa was really good. You hadn't got to watch it yet. If you do get some time, I recommend.
We all know Ciampa wasn't gonna win though.
That one you didn't, but Brody could. I feel like they've been building Brody up where that could happen. He beat MJF in that squash to get the title shot, and I think MJF cheated to beat Brody. So yeah, I'm intrigued. Also, Ospreay got abducted. I don't know if you didn't get a chance to see that.
He was at WrestleCon, so apparently he's okay.
No, he got abducted after WrestleCon. He just got abducted this past Wednesday. It was on this past episode.
Okay. Never mind.
And they followed up on Collision yesterday. They showed him backstage with the Death Riders, had him kidnapped. And there's a bunch of cryptic stuff that I didn't understand. Maybe I got to go back and watch it.
Were they like texting Alex Windsor, like, give us $1 million, you'd never see your husband again?
That would have been hilarious. They should have. Yeah, they had him sitting in the chair. Marina Shafir fixed his neck. Like, she put a towel on his neck and like snapped it back into place. And basically,
I wouldn't mind Marina fixing my neck.
Hey, that's a double meaning. I don't know how what's his name, Roger Strong feel about her fixing neck.
I'm just saying my neck hurts. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be dirty or anything. I'm just saying if somebody was to work on my neck, I wouldn't mind it being Marina Shafir.
Yeah, but basically backstage, like I said, there's a lot of cryptic language, but they're basically saying you got to build yourself back up because you're kind of in a rut right now. So
didn't he get pile driven on the fucking hardest part of the ring?
Yeah, that's why his neck was messed up. He lost by doctor stoppage to Mark Davis.
I'm not mad at that though. I like the doctor stoppage.
Yeah, sometimes the doctor got to go in there and wave that shit.
Yeah, don't come in the ring and like give me stitches and staples and shit, and then let me finish the match. Come in the ring and be like, nah, nigga, you fucked up. This you got to call it a week.
Yeah. So some people were saying, back to the Darby, some people were saying like, they're just doing this because it's Mania week and they, trying to get the attention. If that's a little bit involved with it, so what? You just expect them just to lay down and not do anything during WrestleMania week? So
I agree.
It is
WrestleMania, and so not to change subjects. Next year, WrestleMania is in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be so advantageous if AEW, MLW, ROH,
GCW.
even though they're under the AEW brand, GCW, TNA, even if they wanted to. AEW puts on a show called Forbidden Door every year. I think during WrestleMania week next year, when WWE's in Saudi Arabia, would be the perfect time to do a real Forbidden Door. I think between January and April, you should have people from New Japan showing up on MLW. You should have people from AEW showing up on ROH and TNA and all these other places. Give us the dream matches we wanted. Give us Ricochet and Leon.
Well, I don't know if we talked about it last show. TNA, they don't want their talent working with AEW for some dumb reason.
And they need to get their head out of their ass because financially, visually, everything. What is TNA working with WWE actually doing for them?
Nothing except giving their mid-card NXT talent titles for some reason.
So it's time for TNA to sack up Carlos and tell WWE to go fuck themselves. We're doing this next weekend.
I agree with that. Have that, like you said, move Forbidden Door 1 year up a little bit sooner. Run the T-Mobile Center. Like you said, you have all that talent. You can run T-Mobile Center. And they have in the past.
And put all your egos aside. Don't be like, oh, this has to be an AEW show. This has to be a TNA show. No, make the show called Forbidden Door, which AEW has a license on, I'm guessing. TNA, AEW, GCW, MLW, ROH. Every fucking company underneath WWE right now. Give me a show next year. Bring it to Atlanta. Take it to New Orleans. Take it to anywhere in the middle of the country where everybody can get to. Let WrestleCon attach to it. Let everything that goes to WrestleMania attach to it. This is fucking perfect. It's written right there. WWE and TKO want to be so fucking greedy and they want to go get the Saudi Arabia money. Cool. You have your show. You don't even have to run it at the same fucking time. It's in Saudi Arabia, so it's going to be morning time here. You can run a Saturday night, 8 p.m. show, Forbidden Door, that's going to have everybody on it that's not associated with the WWE. You can make a whole fucking weekend out of it, man. I'm sorry. Like, if they don't do this, it's honestly like business malpractice.
Yeah. I know WWE has a relationship with MSG, but they don't have like a monopoly over it. I say run MSG.
I think I think like a place like New York is too expensive. A place like Vegas. That's why I'm saying like the Midwest. Bring that shit to New Orleans, man. Let people go to Bourbon Street and do the Superdome. Come to Atlanta.
Or anywhere in Florida.
Anywhere in Florida. I'm trying to get more of a middle of the country where everybody can travel to, but yeah, I guess Atlanta and Florida aren't too hard.
What about Nashville?
Nashville. They got a new stadium. You don't even have to make it a stadium show. Make it a fucking arena.
Go where the Predators play.
Yeah, put it in a 10,000 seat arena. Make the tickets worth something.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like I would go.
I think the finalists should, in that running, like you said, should be New Orleans or Nashville. Make it a party.
I went to All In, the very first one in Chicago, man. That shit was so much fun.
Oh, you could run Chicago too. You said Midwest. That's the heart of the Midwest.
Go to the Now Arena.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're going to be missing the boat if they don't some kind of way capitalize on WWE going to Saudi Arabia. Because honestly, like, and I hate to sound MAGA, but like, wrestling's our thing, man. Like, pro wrestling's our thing. Like, why are you taking it somewhere we can't go to?
Well, we know why. The almighty dollar. They just can't get enough money, man. Greed.
And not for nothing, I could go to Saudi Arabia next year, but I'm not doing that. There's a fucking war going on. Like, I'm not going over there risking my life for pro wrestling.
That's the biggest thing is, are they gonna still go over there if this, war still
They're going over there for a pay-per-view in 2 months.
Yeah. So they're really putting safety of their talent on the line.
TKO don't give a fuck.
I guess now that you mentioned that, I feel like, no, have they? I don't know if because they go over there for UFC a lot. I don't think they've been over there since the war started. So, but I'm figuring that they're gonna still do that if this conflict. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we could talk about this for hours and hours, but yeah, if like you said, if you're Tony Khan, you should capitalize on this and run something that same weekend.
Not just Tony Khan though, but everybody that owns a big promotion in America should put all their egos aside. Let's just fucking come up with something that everybody's equally paid. I'll bring my biggest wrestlers, you bring yours. Let's do a Forbidden Door. Let's do an event where people want to see it. I
believe C-Flu said he believes the Saudi deal is up in 2 years. I can see them re-up with it though.
They're definitely gonna re-up.
So,
but I don't know, man. I feel like WrestleMania is such a staple of American wrestling that people travel to, and for you to take it. And honestly, like if it went to London or Canada or something like that, that's fine. Like it's been to Canada before. That's fine. We can get there. But to take it to fucking Saudi Arabia, like, come on, man.
Where people's safety is at risk. And then, like, what are you saying about your woman fans where they have certain laws and restrictions for women travelers there?
We had to fucking watch a Royal Rumble where everybody was dressed like Spider-Man this year.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be more so a local thing for the local people. I don't see a lot of people from here traveling over there, but that's what they wanted. And then remember with the Royal Rumble, it looked weird with like, it didn't look like all the seats were filled up and stuff like that.
Yeah. They claimed it was, that was just because of the lighting and they all had lights on or whatever. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. We know what really happened. But again, I don't want to keep belaboring the point, but I think AEW, MLW, TNA, ROH, GCW, who am I missing?
I think you hit all the major ones, but I just think I can see all those companies that you named doing it.
New Japan,
except for TNA, because I think like
that's fine. All right, if TNA don't want to play ball, to hell with them, you know.
But like, I don't understand what this partnership really is. Is there like monetary things attached to this? Because if it's just like a talent thing attached to it, then like you said, then y'all are getting the short end of the stick. Is there a monetary thing attached to this partnership?
They really, their women's champion is somebody that couldn't cut it in NXT, a developmental brand.
I love Ariana Grace, but she's just not like she's like a entertainment character. She's not like the Bell character. Even though I really like the way they pivoted her character is like some, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm hoping something like that comes up. I saw WrestleCon tweeted out that they have plans to do something if WrestleMania doesn't. And it's also still a big if WrestleMania still ends up back in the States. But like I just said a second ago, they have a pay-per-view coming up in 2 months where they're promoting it being in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. He said, C. Fluid said, let TNA tell it, but the AEW deal was worse. Yeah, that's what they say. They claim that the AEW deal was worse, but you did have Kenny Omega with your championship on the show. And
I don't know. Kenny Omega is our world champion or Ariana Grace is our women's champion. Which one do you think is better?
Exactly. I don't know. They're just bowing at the feet of WWE. At the beginning of the deal, I was like, okay, I'll let it play out. But now that it's played out, like it's like the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other. Basically the same shit, except you had Kenny Omega as your champion. I don't know, man. It is what it is.
Yeah. I got a wrestling show to go to tonight, EJ.
Oh yeah, on a Sunday?
On a Sunday.
What is that?
Here in Marietta, Georgia, I'm going to, let's see the name of it, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. It's an all-women show.
Oh, really? You know anybody on the card?
It looks like J-Rod, who's also an American Gladiator. And
yeah. J. I thought it was Jay Rosen or something.
Okay. And she also does. She plays for the Savannah Bananas. She's She's one of the opponents that they play. You know how the Harlem Globetrotters always played against the fucking Washington Generals? She's the Washington General of the Savannah Bananas.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what, man. Shout out to J-Rod. She's like one of the hardest working women in indie wrestling.
Shout out to her. I was thinking about the Harlem Globetrotters, like you said. I guess they recently just started having like women play against. I think they had some women on the actually Harlem Globetrotters team. So I guess that's what they're doing with the Savannah Banana. They have like intergender and stuff.
They're playing against like firefighters and shit like that. And she's one of the firefighters.
I didn't know she could play baseball. That's what's up.
Also, speaking of women's wrestling, so when I landed in Vegas, I landed Thursday night, and my buddy Brent that lives out there picked me up. I said, "Hey, can you give me a bottle of Crown Royal?" He's like, "Yeah, I got you." EJ, this fucking guy brings me not a regular bottle of Crown Royal, but he brings me the 2-liter bottle of Crown Royal.
He bought you the big boy?
I'm like, damn, it's just me, Oos. Like, that's me. Like, I'm the only one drinking it. And then we went to Ladies' Night Out at the Luxor, and I just want to shout out like some of the women that were there that night that just like blew me away. J Rod was there. Uh, Sloane Jacobs, I think is her name in NXT now, but she's Notorious Mimi on the Indies. She was there. Thunder Rosa was phenomenal. Oh god damn it! I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought on all the women that were there. You had Erica. I can't think of her last name. She just got signed to WWE's ID program. She was great. There was just a lot of really good women wrestling at Ladies Night Out 16. So if you want to go see that show, you can go to Title Match Network, and I'm sure they have it on there. It was phenomenal. We went there. It was a lot of fun. We ended up sitting on the top stage in front row. We had front row tickets, but we didn't have tickets to sit on the stage. So like halfway through, my buddy Brent's like, "Our wristbands are red, everybody else's are green. I don't think we're supposed to be up here." I was like, "Fuck it, nobody said anything." Like, what? Like what? So when they came down the entrance ramp, they literally like, if you watch some of the videos I posted, they walked right at us, and it was a lot of fun, man. Women's wrestling's really good right now.
Yeah, shout out to all those performers. Did you ever finish that 2-liter?
Fuck no, I left it for the maintenance people or the waitresses or cleaning ladies. I don't even think I finished half of it. It was just me.
You could have shared it with Robin and
I tried to get Robin and Scott to take some, but Robin and Scott were drunk as shit. Robin's like, I kidnapped them or whatever that night. Robin was fucked up. Like, he's like, wait for me, I got little legs. Yeah, no, you had drunk legs, Robin. Like,
oh man, if I was there, the bottle probably would have been gone or damn near gone.
Yeah, but you didn't come, EJ.
It's true.
So now you got to make up for it when we go to London.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a jolly old time in good old London.
You picked your flight yet?
I haven't. I need to do that soon, but
we were looking at hotels yesterday. Shit's getting expensive.
That's because what's going on with the fuel prices and I don't know what's going on in London with the hotel prices, but yeah.
I'll tell you this. It's going to be hot. When you're searching for your hotel, you definitely need to click air conditioner because a lot of these places overseas don't have AC in there. Yeah, they just want you to open the window and do that.
Because of the infrastructure, how old that area is over there. There's a lot of historical structure. So yeah, that makes sense. I feel like there's places in New York like that too. But yeah, make sure that's a good look. I make sure I got some AC for sure.
But I'm going to Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, and that'll be at 5:00 today. So expect some pictures on Instagram, the whole nine. Hopefully, EJ, you start getting your fucking plans together for London because I already got my flight. I know when I'm flying in and flying out. I think we're going to stay in the Soho area, which is supposed to be a nice area for bars and restaurants in the whole nine. My girlfriend's actually not going to All In. She's going to do a Harry Potter tour that day.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it'll be fun for her.
Yeah, so
it'll be a good time, man. I'll be here before you know it. You know, I don't want to skip over the summer, but that's like the culmination of summer because that's late August. So, boots to face will be in the building
for at least that, if not more, wrestling shows.
Yeah.
Anything we got else to add before you get up out of here? Street Clothes Wrestle of the Week. Did you have one?
That's a good question because I'm thinking of Raw. I'm thinking of SmackDown. A lot of people just had their ring gear on this week.
I'm gonna
So
give it to my boy Oba.
You literally took what I was about to say because he came down in the suit. I was gonna pick
All
Oba.
right, you can take Oba.
I'll just pick Oba family. Yeah, like we said earlier, short and sweet. Came down looking like $1 million with his suit on. So
I'll go with Cody.
Yeah, Cody's always dressed impressive.
Yeah, Cody's looking dapper with he takes the jacket off now. He's got the suspenders on. I like that look. I've been watching Peaky Blinders a lot lately, so
people were saying like doing the juxtaposition of like you got Cody as your white meat bay face, and then you got Roman. He's like a shades of gray face, and we didn't even get into like what you think about his first feud against Jacob.
I'm just not feeling the Usos bloodline dynamic right now. Like, it was literally a year ago, Jey Uso was the world champion, and now he's just like a background player for Roman again. I don't know. I'm just.
You don't think Jacob's a worthy opponent?
Not as his first opponent. I think if he was like his third opponent, you'd be like, damn, Jacob might win. But you know he's not going to win the first time.
So who needs to be in that spot? Like a Finn? I'm just trying to think of who. Somebody's got to be the first opponent.
He can run it back with Punk. It is called Backlash.
Not every Backlash match has to be a rematch. Because I'm thinking it's probably going Cody and Randy for that. As far as the rematch. Yeah. You could get away with it, but like I said, somebody's got to be the first opponent. So, like you said, Jacob's not going to win, but he's still getting that spot. Everybody wants that Roman spot.
We haven't talked about this a lot, but I think Tama Tonga is taking over the MFTs. I've thought about this for like a month now.
I can see that. The way him and Solo have been going back and forth. It's funny that his name is Solo Sikoa. The last time he's been solo was on NXT. He's always had a crew.
And you get a tag team of Solo and Royce Keys.
I guess that could work. I know that their backstage interactions have been picking up over the few weeks, but I thought you were going to say Solo's going back with his family.
Nah. I think Tama takes over the MFTs. Solo's not welcome back to the bloodline, and him and Royce Keys kind of have a reluctant partnership.
Okay. I'm with it if it's like a reluctant Oddfellow partnership, but I think Royce Keys could win the U.S. championship if they build him right. He could be the one to take it off Trick. That's believable. Royce Keys,
we'll see.
Powerhouse, yeah. So I'm with it regardless. We'll see.
Well, you got anything else, CJ, before we get up out of here?
Like shout out to everybody that was in the chat, C Fluid and Solo Keys. That's a good name. It's an action-packed show. Like we weren't here last week, so good to be back talking some wrestling, and we'll be back next week.
A little longer than we normally do. I had So don't forget, if you're listening now, to go check out our interview with ROH Women's Television Champion Red Velvet that we posted last week. You can check that out on audio, or you can check it out on video where you get to see Red Velvet. Phenomenal interview. I can't say enough good things about her. I thought she was great. I thought she was likable. I thought she was very personable. Just, a good interview, a good guest to have. What'd you think, EJ?
Yeah, shout out to Red Velvet. Like you said, it was a good interview. She had positive energy, and she's killing it on ROH, the television champion, and kind of called out Athena. So let's hope we get that match. We got Supercard of Honor coming up, so yeah, everybody make sure they tune in to Supercard of Honor. It should be a good show.
It'd be nice if that started here, right? Because we've definitely posted her talking shit about Athena on there. So
yeah.
And I just thought that I've interviewed a lot of wrestlers, and some of them you'll ask a question and they'll give a very short answer. I thought she was really easy to talk to. Like, just in the middle of asking her a question, she would go on about a million different things. And I love those kind of interviews. So shout out to Red Velvet again. I thought she was phenomenal. Cheering for one of my favorite wrestlers to watch in AEW/ROH. So all the best to her. If you got anything else, EJ, say it now and we'll get up out of here.
Like I said, well, also shout out to Robin and Scott for kicking off the show. And yeah, good to be back. And we'll be back next week to cover the never-ending episodic thing that is professional wrestling.
We'll have a lot more AEW, TNA, ROH coverage next week, but this was WrestleMania week, so we have to make sure once All In comes around and Slammiversary comes around, we'll be heavy on those guys. So if you're fans of those promotions or whatever, we appreciate you sticking it out. Thanks to everybody that was in the chat. Thanks to everybody that watched along. Until next time, for EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been Boot to the Face. Peace.